Alô, alô? Alô, alô, boa noite, boa noite. Quase cheguei atrasado. Nossa, mano, no dia do banquete, todo dia é tranquilo no Cratuca Lanches, mas no dia do banquete tem que acordar os caras que mora lá no fim do mundo e pedir lanche faltando 5 minutos pra fechar a loja. Quase cheguei atrasado pro banquete, mas cheguei, tô aqui com o meu Cratuca Lanches, que essa hora já deve ter esfriado, mas fazer o quê? E tô aqui com a telinha do banquete aberto. Deixa eu só conferir se a live tá ok em todos os canais. Na Twitch já tá passando o ad, então deve estar ok. Deixa eu dar uma olhada aqui na Kik, que aparentemente tá ok. E deixa eu ver o YouTube, que o YouTube costuma me trair também. De vez em quando. Não sei se vai colar muita gente aqui hoje de madrugada, mano. Expectativa pro banquete. Muitas mentiras, poucas atualizações. Correio Fantástico. Opa, e aí? E aí? Pelo jeito no YouTube tá ok. Alguns avisos paroquiais. Não deu tempo de eu preparar nada pra esse banquete. Não tem bingo, não tem nada. Só tem o meu Cratuca Lanches aqui. É, tá ok o áudio. Provavelmente seguindo o padrão da semana passada. Seguindo o padrão da semana passada, do banquete passado, a primeira coisa que eles vão lançar vai ser a música do macaco. Talvez, pra galera que tá assistindo no YouTube, eu vou ter que mutar a música do macaco. Porque, cara, o último banquete que teve, eu fiquei muito puto. Porque o banquete é, sei lá, a melhor live possível pra monetizar BDO. Porque todo mundo vem assistir o VOD. E aí eu deixei o VOD aberto lá e eles deram copyright strike na música da Dead Eye. Cara, pensa numa pessoa puta que eu fiquei quando eu vi que eu tomei copyright strike por causa da música da Dead Eye. Então, talvez eu tenha que mutar a música do macaco se tiver a música do macaco. Provavelmente vai ter música do macaco. Toda classe nova que tá lançando tem música. Surpresa, cara, quase que eu não vi, porque eu tô meio mal da gripe, e eu quase me atrasei no Cratuca Lanches também, mas deu tempo de chegar. Nossa, minha cama tá toda desarrumada lá atrás. Deixa eu desmutar aqui. Essa música não vai dar copyright, né? Essa que tá tocando aqui agora. Tomara que não. Nossa, nem deu tempo de eu fazer nada. Eu pensei, qual que era o meu plano? Vou chegar em casa lá pelas 2 da manhã, vou fazer um bingo, fazer todo um negócio, um conteúdo, um hype, fazer uma pré-live. Cheguei aqui faltando 15 minutos pra começar, não tinha nem feito a thumbnail do YouTube ainda. Isso tudo correndo, mas tamo aí. Olha lá, o que vai vir hoje? 20 segundinhos. Se começar a tocar a música do macaco, eu vou mutar pro YouTube. Eu ainda vou tocar na Twitch e no outro site lá, mas se vier a música do macaco, eu vou mutar pro YouTube. Só avisando. É que vi uma música no estilo Dragon Ball, quer ver? Lá vem ele. E agora não é música. Edania, toma! Falando tudo em coreano pra nós não entender. Essa qualidade tá meio ruim, né? Streamer profissional, rapaziada. Tamo na chute também. Ninguém liga a Terra do Amanhecer. O Magnus. Nossa, eles já estão se vangloriando de update de 3 anos atrás. Oh, o Jordine. O dragão? Cara, eu me surpreendi de eles terem lançado o dragão antes do banquete, mano. Eu achei que eles iam guardar o dragão pra falar dele no banquete. Eles lançaram o dragão uma semana antes do banquete. Talvez eles vão falar do dragão pra player normal nesse banquete, né? Eu acho que tinha que ter tipo um item tesouro pra invocar um dragão pra player normal. Tomara, cara, seria muito bom. Eles até tem, já tá pronto, né? Que é aquele dragão que não gospe fogo. Já tá até pronto, só precisa colocar no mapa novo ali pra nós grindar de item tesouro. Não tem nem muito segredo. Eu tô com medo dessa música ser ou não ser copyright, mas se não tem vocalista, geralmente não tem copyright. E quando alguém começar a cantar, eu vou mutar aqui. Olha lá, o sofazinho que era do Jota. Bom dia, senhor Nemítico. Ó a rapaziada lá. Será que tiraram o Jota do porão? O Majin Buu ainda tá lá.
Hello everyone and welcome to Heidel 2025. My name is CM Endlave, I'm one of your hosts, and joining me today is CM Kazaka and CM Knox.
Hello, I'm CM Kazaka and I'm super
Eu vou comer porque eu tô com fome,
here.
enquanto eles estão apresentando aí.
Yeah.
Hello, adventurers. I'm CM Knox, and we're
Será que
excited.
eu peguei minha água?
Yeah, absolutely. It is time. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with you all, chat. I hope you're all very excited. We've got a lot of exciting stuff on the way today. I am very, very excited. Obviously, we know what's going to go on and how it's going to work today. If it's your first time at a Heidel ball or a Calcium ball, essentially we have our jobs is going to pretty much go over the
Salve, Panela, Big Fã. E aí, Minotauro Macho?
we will be
Big Fã, você aqui essa hora.
as best and clearly as possible. So we do hope that we will
Vamos começar o banquete. Que ninguém é de ferro, né? Ninguém é de ferro. Ninguém é de ferro trazer um duplo burger aqui do Kratuka.
But yeah, we're really excited, guys. So it's going to be awesome. Absolutely.
In today's stream, we'll be kind of splitting the roles of each of the MCs.
Yeah.
And, if we'll try our best, of course, to make sure we're translating as live seamlessly as possible. But we hope you understand that it is a live broadcast, and there's always chance for misunderstanding. So
The odd
I
bit of
think
ad-lib.
we're bringing our guests on stage. So let's
Yeah.
transition back.
Okay. Let's take a look.
Será que voltaram com o Jota? Será que tiraram o Jota do porão?
And on stage, we're welcoming our heads Chasuk and Wansu.
O Jota tá morto e enterrado, maluco. Caramba!
Hello, I'm Jesok Chang, head of Black Desert Live Service.
Bom, pra você que zera o custo de iFood, essa é a parte boa do Kratuka Lanches, mano.
And I'm Wansu
Essa é uma
Yang,
parte
head of
muito
Black
boa,
Desert Game
por
Design.
sinal. Toda vez que eu penso em pedir coisa em outra loja, eu fico pensando, porra, vou pedir um sushi, mas custa R$50 um sushi? Kratuka Lanches é de graça, vou pedir o Kratuka.
Me too. I've been working hard getting ready for today.
There's some little bit of ad-libbing here where they're
Yeah,
joking like,
this is
you're looking
this is the
good."
part. Sometimes we might go ahead
Yes.
a line or two, chat,
Yeah.
but
I'm
yeah,
coming from the future.
that's because of the ad lib.
So something
Live
special
gravado.
about this Heidel ball is not actually occurring in the capital region, but on Tejon actually.
Não tem legenda, né, pra live.
Up until now, the ball has always been held in the capital region. And honestly, seeing adventurers travel long distances just to attend always left me feeling a bit sorry.
Eles não
So
estão
we've been wanting to
fazendo
hold a ball
o
in a
evento
different
na
region
capital?
for a long time. And today we finally made it happen, right here in Daejeon, the heart of Korea. It feels
Acabou o
really
dinheiro,
special.
não tem dinheiro
And
pra
more than
alugar
anything,
um
I want
galpão
to
na
sincerely
capital.
Thank all of you who came out in person today. We've got a lot of exciting summer updates to share with you. So whether you're here with us on site or tuning in online, I hope you enjoy the show and have a
É o
great day.
Xuxinha? Tô vendo 3 Xuxinhas.
We just had video of Edania, and we're officially unveiling it today.
That's right, we're officially unveiling it today.
Edania,
Lá vem, será que vai ter o modo
I think a lot of
PVP
our veterans
prometido em
have been waiting.
Edania?
And
Yeah, that's right. We know many of you have been waiting, so we've been working very hard to bring it to life. We hope today's announcements will be exciting for everyone.
I think we could all say that we're all hyped. But I think today's video had scenes from the old main quest, and it did bring back memories, but were there any deeper meaning to that?
Well, I wouldn't say it's anything too symbolic, but Edania is actually the final chapter in Black Desert's Act 1. So
Acabou o
just
BDO 1, agora vai vir o BDO 2,
on the
fudeu.
journey so far.
BDO 2 confirmado.
When this video starts in Edania, then time seems to rewind all the way back to the ancient stone chamber. What's the meaning behind that?
That was intentional. It's a symbolic way to set the
Bedeutet.
tone for today's updates. The new region, Edania, is meant to be a new pinnacle, a destination to strive for. In the past, we've designed new regions to be as accessible as possible, so that more adventurers could enjoy them. But this time, it's different. Even veteran players will find Edania challenging, right from the start.
Conteúdo endgame desafiador até para jogadores veteranos.
Real growth,
Ou
real
seja,
preparation
400 de AP mais para grindar lá.
It's not just another expansion, it's a true endgame region. We want it to feel like a place you look at and think, one day, I want to go there. And I'm going to make to conquer that place and make it mine.
Come to think of it, previous regions like Morning Light were quite beginner-friendly too, so why'd start today's update story back at
Chrono
the
Odyssey
Stone
Killer.
Chamber?
Chrono Odyssey fez speedrun de...
The Ancient Stone Chamber is the symbolic starting point of every adventurer's journey.
de se auto-quitar do próprio jogo.
Follows the same path, starting as a rookie, getting used to the game, growing step by step, and eventually reaching Edania. We'll be presenting updates for every stage of the journey, with something
Vai ter
meaningful for
update em todas as
everyone, from
regiões.
newcomers to veterans.
I see it now.
Entendi. Vai ter
So
update
today's
em todas
theme
as
is all about
regiões.
the road to Edania, a journey step by step. I think I like that. But I have to ask, is there no new class announcement today?
Lá vem o macaco. Chrono Odyssey realmente copiou o New World à risca, nasceu morto igualzinho. Cara,
There's been, rumors
não sei de
flying
quem
around,
foi a
I think everyone's
decisão
seen
de
it.
colocar aquele beta no ar. Porque tem um monte de gente falando que aquela versão do beta não é a versão verdadeira do beta, que o jogo tá muito mais avançado e tudo mais.
Oh yes, we do have a new
Mas quem
character. Last
teve a
winter,
decisão de colocar
I
aquele
made my
beta no
debut
ar
alongside
tem que ser
Deadeye
demitido,
as a
mano.
new class myself, if you remember. And today, we prepared another new class, but we'll be saving that for the very end of today's reveal.
It's,
It's been 6 months, so I guess I'm an old class now.
all right, now I guess we'll hand the stage over to you.
Classe nova no
and
final do
then,
vídeo. No
you'll
final
be
da
sharing all the
live.
updates.
Shall we begin? Let's begin, chat. Let's get ready. Let's prepare at the beginning.
As Jessup mentioned earlier, today's Heidel Ball is all about the adventurer's journey in Black Desert, from the ancient stone chamber all the way to Edania. There are 4 main chapters covered, each with its own theme. So let's jump into chapter 1.
Ah, vai ter uma atualização para todas as regiões. Eles já fizeram um negócio desse uma vez, não é? Teve um banquete que eles fizeram nesse estilo, uma atualização para
I'd
todas
like
as
to begin
regiões.
today's reveal under the theme, The Journey Begins. We chose the theme because we wanted to share the excitement of starting a new game, helping new adventurers starting in the game filled with this anticipation get accustomed to the world is something we consider very important.
Realmente, mas os caras deram um tiro no pé, eles tiveram postado isso uma hora antes de abrir o servidor, estaria dado de boa, mas quiseram meter desculpinha, horas depois, está aberto, aí foi burrada.
At an impressive pace.
Eu acho que o jogo tem uma promessa boa, o jogo tem uma premissa boa, não promessa, premissa. Mas eles têm que trabalhar muito, mano. Se eles lançar Chrono Odyssey esse ano ainda, vai ser igualzinho o New World, vai nascer morto. Tipo, para pra pensar, o New World no estado atual, ele é um jogo decente. Se eles tivessem lançado o New World de hoje, na época que eles lançaram o New World, teria sido um jogo bom, tá ligado? Mas como o New World deixou uma primeira impressão tão ruim, ninguém nunca mais quis voltar pro New World. E vai ser a mesma coisa com o Chrono Odyssey, se eles continuarem nesse ritmo.
And the world map displays so many icons and functions at once, making it difficult for new adventurers to navigate the map through this sea of info, let alone figure out how to use them.
Tá, eles vão dar uma repaginada na UI na parte inicial do jogo? Faz sentido, tipo, introduzindo a UI pouco a pouco.
Improvement is the upper screen notifications. We're separating usual notifications from unnecessary ones, ensuring that the new adventurers aren't overwhelmed and only see what they truly need. For example, things that are not needed in the early parts of the game, such as other adventurers' item enhancement and rare drops, will be displayed by default. while info required for progress such as Black Spirit notifications will be enabled by default. We also know that the veteran adventurers must have found the top notifications inconvenient at times. For example, after a long cooking session, all the
Nesse assunto das notificações, eu lembro quando eu comecei a jogar BDO, lá no começo do servidor SA, eu e o meu grupinho de amigos, minha panelinha, a gente tinha acabado de quitar do arcade, e a gente foi surrado no arcade. E o arcade era joguinho de comércio, né? Era fazer carroça e ficar fazendo comércio. Aí qual que foi a primeira coisa que a gente loga no BDO e vem aquelas notificações em cima de você falando: jogador não sei o que está vendendo carroça por 15 milhões de silver, que era o item mais caro da época. Porque os itens tudo ia no máximo até mais 15, né? Mano, todo mundo quitou na hora, falou: não vou jogar outro jogo de carroça não. Depois da gente ter tomado uma puta surra no arcade, mano, cara, arcade era coisa de maluco, velho. A gente entrou numa guild que, pô, vamos ajudar vocês aqui, vamos levar vocês numa trade run. Aí chegou lá um monte de gente pra fazer a trade run. Falou: caramba, que quantidade de gente que é essa? Aí a mulher falou: somos nós três. Mas como assim nós três? Tem uns 50 personagens aqui. É, nós três. Eu tô controlando 20, a outra menina tá controlando 20, o homem ali que tem um PC mais fraco tá controlando 10, 50 personagens controlados por 3 pessoas pra fazer uma trade run. E todos com premium, todos com mensalidade de prêmio.
At the top right of the world map to check their locations anytime.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
You can see everything on the world map now.
Let's take a look at the video.
Vamos lá.
There's a new button. Oh, it shows kind of all your characters in a list.
Ah, vai mostrar onde o teu personagem fica? Onde o teu personagem tá no jogo? Você vai poder mudar dali? Caralho! Tecnologia! Tecnologia! Você vai poder ver onde o teu personagem tá e mudar direto pra ele.
When you zoom out, you see them.
So like each region has like a number that shows how many characters there are.
As we saw in the video, all your family characters' locations are displayed by region and can also be clearly seen on the world map. They will be grouped together as you zoom in and out.
Agora não precisa mais ficar clicando de um em um pra tentar lembrar aonde você deixou ele.
Instantly moves the camera to their location. If the characters are grouped together, they will be highlighted with an effect.
그리고 만약 그룹으로 묶여 있는 경우에는 그 이펙트로 강조되면서 표시가 또 됩니다.
All the features that could be found in the escape endgame menu will be
Acabei de
available
perceber
here
que
too.
minha cara tá na
Even the
frente das
characters'
legendas.
energy
Deixa eu
stacks and
colocar um pouco
mounts
mais
can be
pra cá.
viewed from the character list on the right. Their inventory can also be seen by selecting them from the list, and this is the most important feature. Through this feature, you no longer need to change to another character in your family to move them to a desired location. Rather than explaining in detail, let's go ahead and watch
Vai
the
dar pra
video.
mover o personagem sem precisar logar nele?
Okay. There's a lot of nice
Meio que já dá
quality
pra
of
fazer
life
isso,
stuff
né?
at the moment, chat.
Yeah. Seems decent.
Deixa eu ver. Seleciona usa.
So
Um monte de letrinha coreana.
You can choose to move them or you can choose to
Oh,
switch
yeah,
to them.
that's nice.
Ah, e você pode mover ela, mas dá pra mover ela direto pro esporte ou só pra
There,
cidade?
it's by notes as well.
So yeah, you can move them through nodes.
Direto pro
Yeah,
esporte.
so it's not just
É, o sistema
like,
atual
you
tem
know,
que estar na cidade
it's
pra
not
outra
just the main
cidade, né?
city now, you can actually move them to a node.
20 minutinhos.
That's
Tecnologia.
nice. That's nice.
Oh, it's all nice having everything in one UI now.
SW.
네, 보시다시피
Next, as you can see, previously the character could only be moved between towns. This feature now allows characters to be moved to nodes as well, meaning you can place your characters where world or field bosses spawn, and for many other convenient purposes. Please note that the travel time remains the same as before, and moving between towns is free, but moving to nodes will cost a small amount of silver.
이동은 기존과 그대로 무료지만 거점 이동 시에는 소량의 은하가 필요한 점은 참고.
That's nice. I like that.
Isso é muito bom, mano.
Next,
Principalmente
I'd
pra
like to
quem
talk about
separa os alt
streamlining the
de
world map
grind e
UI.
alt de...
As we were developing the grouping
PVP.
feature on zoom-ins and outs
Igual eu
for the
faço.
management of family characters, we took this opportunity to clean up one of the most confusing aspects of the world map, the knowledge icons. Honestly, I was doing the knowledge runs myself. Those icons were often hard to spot.
Desculpa, ainda tô
I
meio
would
gripado.
constantly zoom in, tilt the map around. We'll improve that so you can see how much knowledge you are still missing in an area, which should make things a lot easier.
Ah,
That's nice.
pra não ter que ficar abrindo o
The
database pra
roadmap is an
buscar
essential
conhecimento.
UI for
Vai
adventuring
poder pegar os
and offers
conhecimentos
many
assim.
features, but we have heard from many
Todo
new
banquete me
adventurers that
pergunta
it's
os
still too
coreanos
complicated.
são sem emoção pras
With that in
novidades ou
mind,
se
we
é...
have made some major
O pessoal do
changes.
BDO realmente nunca tem esperança, todo mundo já chega e sai do
First, we have
banquete
separated
triste.
the main menu from the sub-menu. The filter at the top
Ah,
focuses
eu
on
acho que é uma
most
mistura
frequently
dos dois,
options,
mano. Os
making it
coreanos com
much
certeza
more
são mais
intuitive
frios
to
do que
turn it
nós.
on and off. We
Mas
also
principalmente
enhanced
na
plot lists
plateia
and
ali.
search functions, so you can find the
Tipo,
information
deixa eu me
you need
lembrar, teve
more
uma
easily.
vez que eles anunciaram uma
Also,
parada
the
que a
secondary
plateia
menus in the bottom
aplaudiu
right
muito
have
em
been
pé,
removed
tá
to the
ligado?
top
O
left,
que foi?
streamlining the overall visual
Não
flow.
lembro se foi o servidor
With the knowledge
hardcore.
icons better organized, we'll keep refining the map to make it more user-friendly and polished overall.
Teve alguma coisa que eu lembro que a galera ficou maluca, aplaudiu de pé. O Jota ficou até feliz naquele dia. Mas a maior parte do tempo a plateia tá desanimada também.
Okay. Next, I'd like to introduce the new integrated event page. Previously, you'd have to check the website to see what was going on.
Ah, vai ter uma
Then
página
open
de
the quests
evento, você
window
não vai
to
precisar
accept the
checar o
event quest.
website.
Sometimes,
Beleza.
open the world map to find the location and get dice from the bottom right menu. The process wasn't as user-friendly, making it hard to keep track of the events, big or small. So, as you can
Eu acho
see
que eu
on the
parei de
screen now,
acompanhar
you'll be able
evento
to
do
view
BDO
all event information
há
in
no
each
mínimo uns 4 anos
view
atrás.
a full list
Eu
of
só fico
ongoing
sabendo de um
events
evento
at
se a
glance.
recompensa é muito
Use the
absurda.
button
Tipo,
to get
olha
directions
lá,
to
o
the
evento de
event
10k de
location
Chrome.
or
Opa,
accept
10k de
the
Chrome.
starting quest directly.
Mas esses
It would
eventozinhos
also-
aí
It
pequenos,
was also difficult
nem
to
fico
see how
sabendo.
much time was left for each event. But now, events are about to end will be marked with an icon, helping you prioritize which event to do.
Tecnologia de jogo mobile, né? Chegou no
That's
BDO.
actually really nice.
Falando em jogo mobile, viu que deu merda no lançamento do Blue Archive na
Next, we're
Steam?
going over the buff UI.
Ai, ai.
Next is something we briefly introduced in
You'll
our
be able to
last.
see your
Nossa.
buffs from the Mine Information page, from Combat XP to Life XP, a total of 33 different
Vai
buffs
ter uma UI
will
só
be
pra
displayed,
você
so you can
contabilizar
view
os
everything at a
buffs.
glance with that
Cara, isso é um
information
negócio
of
que
your
mais
buff
confunde a
individually.
galera que começa
Yeah.
o jogo, mano.
And
When you select a
O cara
specific
começa a jogar
buff,
o jogo e
you'll
fala,
get
beleza,
detailed
pega os
information
buffs de
on
experiência.
where the
Tem
buff is coming from.
aquela lista
For
enorme de
example,
buff de experiência.
choose Mounted EXP, you'll see exactly how it's being applied from your character's base effects and pets to advanced
Nossa
training
senhora, olha essa
levels
fórmula
and mastery.
matemática aqui. Os devs estão achando o quê? Que a gente é alfabetizado? Olha isso aqui, ó, 100% mais B, mais C, mais D, mais 1.5 vezes Z, mais F. Mano, os devs estão achando que todo
Might
mundo
seem a bit
foi pra
complex at
escola.
first,
Aqui é
but
jogador de
given how
BDO, mano.
vast Black Desert content is, we believe that having accurate detailed
Tem que
info is
estudar.
essential. The new
Colocaram
buff
uma-
UI is built to make sure you're
Colocaram
not
uma
missing
fórmula
anything.
quadrática
We'll
ali,
continue
mano.
improving systems like this in future updates too.
okay, that's really nice. Next is the enhancement UI improvements. There are two major changes. First, a dedicated enhancement material storage, and second, a clearer and more intuitive update to enhancement terms and functions. Currently, materials
Já é-
like Advice of Valks and
já é a
Valk's Cry
terceira
are
ou quarta
scattered
vez que
across
eles
characters
tentam
and
atualizar
also take up space in
a
your
UI
own
do
inventory.
encantamento.
With the update, there'll be a new enhancement inventory. Items such as Cronstones, Advice of Valks, Valk's Cry,
Tá,
various
todos os
blessings
itens de
and
encantamento vai estar no
will automatically
inventário
be stored in
de
this
encantamento.
inventory.
Vai
This
separar do
inventory
inventário
can
de
be
pérola.
accessed by your entire
Pô, isso é
family,
bom, mano.
and the
Nossa
items
senhora, isso é
can
bom.
be used directly from it without needing to manually
Vai separar as paradas de
It will be,
encantamento do
especially
inventário de
helpful for
pérola.
managing all the different types of Advice of Valks with this inventory. However, materials like Blackstone or Origin of Dark Hunger, which can be registered on the central market or have other specific uses, will still be managed on an individual character basis as before. That is a huge,
That's a huge double.
That's really good.
yeah,
É.
that's really, really nice.
A lot of
And one of the most confusing aspects of the previous enhancement system was the stacks. Originally, stacks were meant to be a kind of compensation for failure, but became an essential part of the
Botar o
enhancement
Jotinha no porão foi a
process.
decepção.
So, we've
Certo, os
unified
caras
the
estão pensando no
terminology
óbvio.
to
Pior que todo
enhancement
banquete eles
and
trazem umas paradas
streamlined
boas
related
de
features such as Valk's
de UI, de
Cry and
otimização de
Devour,
qualidade
so
de
they could
vida.
all be used
É algo que tem que dar
intuitively
crédito
within
pro BDO,
this
é que todo ano a qualidade de vida fica um pouco melhor. Você voltar no tempo ali pro BDO da caverna lá em 2018, mano, quantidade de coisa que foi melhorando ano depois de ano.
We expect it to be a big improvement for the veteran adventurers. And we expect the new adventurers to naturally understand it as a
com frio?
function
Aqui tá
to
friozinho,
increase
mano. Aqui tá
the
friozinho.
enhancement chance.
That's looking really clean.
Eu tô com duas blusas, eu nem tirei as blusas do trabalho. Cheguei do trabalho e já abri live. Fiz a thumbnail e já abri a live.
Use Cronstone didn't clearly communicate that this feature protects your gear during enhancement. Now it will be replaced with a much clearer term, level protection. It will also be improved so that you'll select the materials yourself when using this feature. So this change should help prevent those accidental moments, like forgetting to use the Cronstone. Overall, this
Não adianta, eles podem colocar 3 camadas de proteção, sempre vai ter alguém que vai esquecer de clicar na Chrome, mano. Pode colocar 3 notificações assim. Você vai clicar sem Chrome, tem certeza? Mas tem certeza mesmo? Mas pense bem. E o cara ainda vai clicar sim em todas e vai clicar sem Chrome. Às vezes eu acho que é pelo conteúdo, mano. Às vezes eu acho que os caras fazem isso pelo conteúdo, não é possível.
No more forgetting concepts.
Yeah. That is right.
Next, while this isn't related to UI, we also prepared some benefits to help our new adventurers.
Cupom.
First, Tuvala accessories, which are seasonal items, will no longer fail enhancement at Try and Below.
Tá.
The season server is designed as a mini version of
Tuvala
Black Desert World for
vai
new
ser
adventurers
garantido
to
até o Tri.
experience. But since it is also important for them to know that accessories can be destroyed when enhancing, so destruction will still occur. But for only
Eu acho que eles tinham que tirar a destruição de acessório, mano, dos Tuvala, no caso. Porque os Karazad também não destrói. Os Karazad só volta. Por que os Tuvala tem que destruir? Sendo que Tuvala é de novato e Karazad é de veterano.
About 10 billion silver. We've been analyzing data from last winter through this year and found that new adventurers typically graduate from season server in as little as 3 days, with the average of being around 9 days. We think this is a reasonable time frame, but most players graduate with about 400 million up to 1 billion silver on hand.
Ah, vai ganhar 10 bi quando terminar a temporada.
Nice for people getting started.
While we do offer various benefits, once you move to main server, you'll need to gear up and start enjoying all kinds of content which requires some starting funds. We considered providing items, but honestly, nothing beats silver. We believe giving silver instead would offer more flexibility
Aqui
and
vai ser
choice.
só uma vez ou vai
For this
ser
reason,
uma
we will
vez
be
para cada
providing
personagem
all
de
new
temporada?
adventurers who graduate with a 10 billion silver support fund. We hope this will aid you in shopping on the main server or use it in any ways that help you grow. However, to prevent any potential exploits, the full amount won't be given all at once. Some will be provided through main quests and some through content. So please keep this in mind as you get started.
That's like a good way to start off, get
Você vai ganhar 10 bi de silver por fazer a temporada, mas vai ter que fazer umas questzinhas.
Like goals as well.
Mas vai dar pra fazer repetido ou não? Essa aqui é a questão.
Look at the silver. But you think about it.
Next, I would like to talk about another feature that many of you have requested. Now, even if you used up all your party Black Shrine attempts in Huanghe, you'll still be able to help other adventurers. Previously, you could only retry bosses and difficulties you had already cleared.
Esse é muito
but
bom,
now
esse
you'll be able to
ajuda
challenge any
muito,
boss
esse
or
ajuda
difficulty
muito.
as many times as you'd like.
Mesmo que você já tenha completado todos os boss da tua semana, você vai poder ajudar os outros que não completaram ainda. Pô, isso aí, pra quem quiser, quem tiver muita vontade, isso aí é um farm gratuito, mano. Abre uma live na Twitch, fala, ajudo com os bosses, e fica recrutando um monte de noob no chat e cobrando assim, se você me pagar o sub da Twitch, eu vou te ajudar com o boss. Isso aí é farm de dinheiro infinito. Cadê o Jake Berserker?
Who used to help others progress through Ataraxion. We plan to address this by changing the way daggers are
Quem
obtained.
fazia uma parada assim era o Thiago SNK, né? Que ficava grindando lá e dava PT pra upar a rapaziada.
This change is scheduled to go Live with the
Mas,
update
cara, é
on
uma
July
ideia
10th.
boa, mano. É uma ideia boa para pensar. Você vai
That
estar
concludes our
sacrificando a
updates
tua
for new and
progressão,
key adventures.
ajudando os novatos e ainda farmando dinheiro na Twitch.
So that is,
Tudo completamente legal.
being close.
Eita, por que tem um Striker ali? Sai, Striker.
Kind of a roadmap for
Ninguém
the
gosta de Striker.
updates, actually.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
There
that we
you
just
go.
talked about.
Nice. See, now to
Okay,
go.
so you can see like when these
So you can
things
see
happen.
for us, from July 10th, we'll get the Actoroxian boss change. July 17th for us, we'll get the world map UI changes, the Black Shrine retries.
Tá,
July
deixa eu
30th,
voltar um aqui, que eu tô perdido. Dia 7/9, mudança no boss de Atoroxion. Essa mudança na UI já vai chegar dia 16/7. 7/9 não, né? 9/7. Dia 16/7 já vai chegar a mudança do UI. E dia 30 já vem a mudança do UI do Black Spirit. Aqui já vai vir a fórmula matemática que ninguém vai conseguir entender nada. E ali vai vir os negócios de... Não sei o que é isso. Deixa eu voltar aqui.
your
Oh,
spoilers.
okay. Ah,
So in August, you can see.
Vou acelerar aqui.
And then, sorry.
Tá, as
yes.
mudanças de
So,
UI vão
as I
chegar
said,
rápido.
We had Mentor adapted and progressed 4 to 5 times faster than those who didn't. We found that the more support systems we provided to help new adventurers adapt, the better. So we're planning to expand these efforts in the long-term plan as well. Okay, it'll take some time to implement, but we're also working on revamping the Olvia area in a beginner-only zone. We're calling it Olvia School, a school for new adventurers with support from Calfian. That part of the Olvia will be rebuilt. Here, you'll be able to hone your skills by battling various monsters and try out cooking and alchemy with designated ingredients and shared tools, helping you learn the game's basic systems and in a practical way. We plan to operate Olvia
Isso aí é
schools in
esquisito.
classes, and even after graduating, adventurers can stay connected through alumni groups with ongoing support for forming lasting in-game communities. It will take some time until it's built, but since the scenery of Olvia will change significantly, we encourage those with fond memories of the area to visit there before the update goes live. And in short term, we'll be refining our early game systems as introduced today. And in the long run, we're preparing
Olvia vai ser tipo escolinha de BDO. Pô, mas aí qual que vai ser a utilidade dos youtubers, mano? Se vai dar pra aprender tudo em Olvia, qual que vai ser a utilidade dos
I think
youtubers?
it's important for those people just starting their journey.
I also missed Olvia.
Olvia vai ser tipo uma escolinha de BDO. Vai ter uma área ali pra você fazer combate, life skill,
Never
treinar
enough quality of
combo.
life improvements, I think.
Absolutely.
These updates aren't just helpful for new adventurers as they get started. They are full of changes that make the game more comfortable for everyone.
그만큼 많이 준비한 것에 대해서 많은 분들이 좋아해 주시는 것
We
아닐까
still
생각됩니다. 신규 모험가분들이 적응하는데 도움이 될 뿐만 아니라 우리 전체 모험가님한테도
Okay.
편안해지는 내용들 많이 있지 않았나.
We still have plenty more to share today.
Yep.
Next up is Chapter 2, which is going to focus on getting familiar with the world of Black Desert. So let's dive right in and see what's coming next.
Into the wide world.
Agora vem Serendia.
We're growing, chat. We're growing. Next updates for those still getting familiar with the game. Since a lot of these are quality of life updates, veteran adventurers may also find these updates useful. Once again, UI
Mais
updates
qualidade
come
de vida.
first, which start with what so many adventurers have been anticipating, the all-in-one preset.
Opa, preset todos em
This is
hein?
not the first time I'm
Esse
talking
é
about
bom.
the all-in-one preset, and I've always
Você já
felt
falou
sorry for
ele uns
making
3
it work.
banquetes
But
diferentes.
now I'm happy to say that it's almost ready to be released.
Tá quase
With
pronto,
the all-in-one
quase lá,
preset, you'll be able to
rapaziada.
view all your various settings on a single screen. What really makes this feature shine is that your preset will automatically apply when you enter specific
O preset vai mudar automaticamente quando você entrar em certos conteúdos.
Am I going a bit too far ahead? Yeah, sorry, chat. There we go. Take the Arena of Solari, for example. You can now
Então, se você entrar na
pre-select
Solari,
the preferred preset
ele
in
equipa
advance,
automaticamente
just
teu
like
preset de
what is shown
Solari.
right now.
Se
If
você
you're out
entrar no...
PvE and get matched up for the Arena of Solari, your settings will automatically switch to your preset for the arena. And they'll switch back to the default settings after the match.
A minha pergunta é, se eu tiver
In
grindando e
this
tomar
way,
um
you'll be able to
gank,
set up presets for
ele
each
vai
match
mudar
content,
automático?
and it
Isso
would be
que
easier to
fica a
join Guild
dúvida.
League as well. However, while Carolyn's buff has become essential, it's causing issues in various content like the Guild League. We considered extending its duration, but honestly we feel it's better to remove unnecessary
Tiraram a
upkeep
Caroline!
altogether to simplify
Tiraram o
things,
buff da
both now and
Caroline,
for the
mataram a
future.
Carolina.
So, we're gradually phasing out Amity buffs, like Carolyn's and Alliston's. Now, you might be thinking, how are we going to deal with DR classes from now on? That's a fair concern, and we'll be addressing it shortly after. Going back to all-in-one preset. I am zooming, chat. I am zooming. I'm very sorry. At first, it was going really fast, and then I'm like, yeah.
So the idea is to kind of make everything a bit easier to upkeep and simplify.
We're addressing it shortly after. Going back to the all-in-one preset, definitely didn't get here already, the auto-switching feature is currently being tested. And it is being planned to launch in August 28th update. We apologize for the extra wait, and we want to ensure it's fully polished
Vai chegar em agosto.
the convenience it's
Augusto.
adventurers. Sorry, Chan, I was zooming. I thought I was actually behind. But, well,
Valência RBF vai voltar? Já devia ter voltado, né? No Labs eles colocaram.
In progression by
Aos diários de
stats
aventura.
like AP and DP. But with stat rewards spreading across multiple logs, trying to collect them all can feel overwhelming. With this update, completing just Igor Bartali's adventures,
É uma opinião impopular, mas eu prefiro mais o de Valência do que aquele cubículo lá do castelo.
Max Stamina, MP, and HP. Igor's got it all. Igor has got it all.
Ou seja, todos os diários vai ser só o diário do Igor Bartali.
Now, you might wonder what the other adventurer logs offer now. To address this, we're adding special rewards like colored titles to them, turning them into challenge or objective-based content.
Todos os buffs de status vai vir só no diário do Igor Bartali e os outros diários vai ser só para pegar título. Da hora.
The update.
I'm sorry for you, Dave.
If you haven't yet, the choice is entirely
com Solari online ninguém faz RBF, né, Mítico? Isso é bem triste.
Met with the mandatory quests, like those for the campsite or tier 5 pet, right after starting the game. But with more mandatory quests added over time, many new adventurers have found the early game overwhelming. We're working on improving this experience as well. That said, we'd like to ask for your understanding. For instance, even after simplifying Blackstones, we ended up introducing a new one later on. Sometimes when adding new content...
Travou? Não caiu a live, né?
New items are inevitably introduced, and so are quests. While we aim to minimize this, some additions are simply unavoidable as the game grows. That's why going forward, we want to put more focus on reorganizing existing content.
Obrigado pelo follow.
So before we add something new, we'll make sure we'll make it a priority, to clean up, streamline, and polish what's already there to make the game more manageable and enjoyable for everyone.
I think that's really important, actually. Right?
Yeah.
So people not just feel overwhelmed, but like burdened by having so much stuff.
Yeah, and it's the thing, like, I think it was like last year or maybe the year before, we had like this whole part of like integration, like trying to consolidate a lot of stuff.
Obrigado pelo follow, Magno Azeto.
Come into the game, right, chat? So of course.
Magno
Now
Azeneto.
let's talk about the seed pouch. This is Klaus' Oldmund seed pouch. We have been working on making seeds stackable, but since that is taking longer than expecting, we are offering this temporary solution. This pouch is stocked for storage only. You won't be able to plant directly from it.
Muito bom aí para todos os
While I've been focusing
o agro do BDO, né, para todos os agricultores.
just one crop, many adventurers prefer growing a wider variety.
진짜 가방은 씨앗을 보관하는 용도로 사용을 하시게 될 겁니다. 저는 평소에 한 가지 작물만 계속 재배를 했었는데
Klaus' Oldmund seed pouch comes with 50 slots, but we'll consider increasing that in the future if needed. We hope this pouch helps adventurers who had trouble with inventory space when storing different types of seeds.
That's actually really nice.
Faz muito tempo que eu não faço cultivo no BDO. Muito tempo mesmo.
It is also easy to obtain. Once you reach farming skill 1, simply interact with Oldmund Manager to get it. Please note that only one pouch can be obtained per family.
E não vai ser pay to win, olha só. Duvido. Garanto que vai vir uma expansão para ela na loja de pérola.
Next up, using energy from your alt characters. Previously, energy-based content often required switching to the character with energy you needed. Just as we enabled node investments via the world map using alt characters' energy, we are planning to extend alt's energy usage to other contents as well.
Ooh, that is nice.
Recently, we improved the hiring system, so you can hire workers from other towns. And adding to that, you'll be able to use energy of your alt characters when hiring them.
Ainda bem. Ajuda, né?
If these
Ajuda.
changes were made along with updates like contribution points, cost reduction for nodes, and new production nodes in Ulukita and Kaplan, it would be much convenient for many adventurers. We regret that this improvement is coming so late, but still better late than never, and we are committed to make it happen. Additionally, you'll be soon able to use alt characters energy at the Patrigio shop as well. We were working on that too. These
Vai
are
dar pra usar as
all for
energias
making
dos
adventures
trabalhadores
life
no
easy.
Patrígio também.
That's nice. It's really,
Tem
really
alguma
nice.
coisa de boa no Patrígio hoje em dia,
Next
mano?
up, the screen may be familiar for those enjoying life content. These are silver embroidered life's clothes. These have been must-haves for life skillers for about 8 years, and beloved by many adventurers. However, after the Manos patch, their only real purpose has been the life EXP boost, and constantly swapping outfits for that has been a hassle. So, we've decided to let most silver embroidered life clothes go, except for the traders and farmers clothes that don't provide a mastery buff. All other silver embroidered life skill clothes will be
A roupa de
and their
prata de
effects
life
like
skill vai
EXP
ser
boost, cooking time reduction,
removida.
and processing success rate will be added to the Manos clothes.
E os
Those who
status dela vai ir
already
direto pro
own silver
Manos.
embroidered life clothes will receive compensation based on their enhancement level. You'll get silver up to duo, and from Tri and above you'll receive a Jin, Bon or 1 Dawn Crystal Life EXP based on the enhancement level. You act, Jack. We're keeping the name of the Dawn Crystal because it uses the same slot unlocked by equipping the old Charizard accessory. This slot is now available when equipping Prion accessories. Crafting Jin Bon 1 Dawn Crystals, Life EXP would look like this. You can use pre-existing materials to craft
Cristais novos para life skill. Aê, life
Pretty nice.
skillers.
While we're introducing life skill content,
Vou continuar
let me
acompanhando
add
pela
one more
TV
thing.
porque as costas são só
You know how
bagaço.
processing
Eu
works,
te
right?
entendo, eu também
It
queria
can be
estar
a bit
dormindo
frustrating
agora.
when processing
Ainda mais
fails.
com esses patches de
So,
life
we're
skill.
looking to improve it.
PlayStation tem pack de 26k de pérolas por R$644. No PC vai ter também? Provavelmente não, mano. É que PlayStation pega meio que o... Pega em dólar, né?
If your gear
PlayStation é em
isn't
dólar.
fully optimized yet, to reduce the number
Aí é
of processing
complicado.
failures, there'll be an increase in the base processing success rate. That's pretty nice. Okay.
Aê, buff no processamento.
So, next up, let's look at the screen first, shall we? Now, this is the current shortage of Pearl inventory slots. While number of outfits are growing, the shortage of Pearl inventory slots remain an ongoing issue. We are working on various solutions like a dressing room and so on. But since those will take
Aê,
more
vai ter
time,
buff no
we are
inventário de
implementing the
pérola.
quickest improvement possible.
Vai ter
So, we're introducing
dressing room.
new
salão de beleza.
items.
Que bom, né?
Patricio's extra large apparel bag and Merv's carry-on bag. Patricio's extra large apparel bag, as the name suggests, is a storage dedicated to outfits. As you can see, it has 40 slots. So, compared to the existing Patricio's apparel bag, it offers much more space. Each family can have up to 5 of these, and they are obtainable through the loyalty shop. This adds a total of 200 extra Pearl inventory slots just for outfits. which means that the current shortage of Pearl inventory will be in a better state.
Quanta coisa chata, cadê o codinho pra BS Pen? Porra.
Oh yeah, sorry. Next up is the
Mas é sempre assim, eles começam o banquete com inventário, life skill, chinelada, de repente chega lá e toma, macaco, toma, PVP. Os pets que... Eles começam com os pets que eles sabem que eles vão conseguir colocar, que é os pets de qualidade de vida. Depois eles começam a falar de PVP, de conteúdo novo, que é as coisas que eles não sabem que eles vão conseguir colocar ou não, né?
Merv's carry-on bag addresses these problems and is designed specifically for easy outfit swapping. Merv's carry-on bag is also available for purchase up to 12 per year from the loyalty shop. With these storage items comes bittersweet news as well. The existing Patricio Apparel bag will no longer be obtainable, and its outfit swapping feature will also be removed. It would be ideal to keep the item and its features, but due to the slot occupancy issues, this change is unavoidable, and we ask for your understanding. Sorry, Chan, but we've got some really good things instead of it there, which is really nice.
Muito bom. Qualidade de vida, inventário de pérola, life skill.
Okay, so adventurers who already own Patricio Power bag will receive Merv's carry-on bag equal to the number of their bags owned. And while you won't be able to get Patricio's apparel bag anymore, you'll still be able to use the ones you already own for the extra storage. Moving on, let's talk about a new feature coming to maids, who have been with us for the past 9 years. You'll soon be able to designate a main maid and fully customize.
Vai poder escolher uma wife. Agora chegou a atualização de verdade. Você vai poder escolher uma empregada principal e customizar ela. Nossa senhora, chegou. BDL2 chegou, rapaziada. Nossa, vai ter maid shy.
Or go with a giant and have a big sturdy butler by your side.
Nossa, chegou o BDL2, vai poder ter uma maid. Vai poder ter uma maid de Berserk.
These outfits can be extracted like regular outfits, or reverted back using a conversion stone if needed.
Agora eles só precisam colocar aquelas cenas igual do Snowbreak, mano, que você entra numa... Você paga R$50 pra entrar numa cena personalizada com a tua maid, pra você fazer carinho na cabeça dela, pra você conversar com ela, igual no Blue Archive, igual no Snowbreak. Aí o BDO vira o BDO2.
Your maid will take the driver's seat, while your character rides alongside and rests.
A maid vai poder dirigir o cavalo pra você?
Since this is your personal maid, you'll also be able to name them and even chat with them. And we're experimenting with AI.
Eles vão colocar IA, na maid. Mano, o BDO2 chegou, velho. Eles descobriram que dá dinheiro. Vou colocar IA na maid pra você poder conversar com a maid, mano. Vou poder colocar IA na empregada, velho. Chegou o BDO2. Esses caras estão fazendo essa porra. Algo sobre PVP ou só coisa inútil? Cara, eles vão colocar uma empregada personalizada. Você vai poder escolher a classe dela, vai poder colocar traje nela e vão colocar inteligência artificial pra você poder conversar com ela enquanto ela pilota o cavalo ou a carroça sua. Esse é o grande update na noite. Maid GPT, exatamente isso. PVP Naval! Chegou o PVP Naval!
Letting it go wasn't easy for us, because this concept of naval fleet battle was one of the content we wanted to make happen the most in the world of Black Desert. So this year, with our everlasting passion, we came up with solutions for some critical issues and gave it one more try.
O PVP de barco nunca pegou porque é muito desincado. Vocês acham que o Zedão é desincado? Vocês nunca conheceram os pilotos de barco boludo da Freehand, mano. Se vocês fizerem alguma vez na vida PVP de barco com os boludos da Freehand, vocês vão ver o que é o verdadeiro PVP lagado, mano. É bizarro quão lagado é o PVP de barco desse jogo.
The
O
rules are
D5 é
similar to
absurdo.
Occupation Node War. Guilds can register up to 20 members for the battlefield. However, for your participation to affect fort count, over half of your registered members must actually participate. Depending on how many guilds join, forts will spawn across random islands in the Ballona Sea.
Tá, vai ter uma node
Capturing
war
a
de
fort or
barco.
destroy at least 10 enemy ships is the minimum condition for rewards.
Isso aí vai ser da hora.
As with the Occupation Node War, at the end of the battlefield, the guild that is occupying the fort wins.
Uma node war de barco.
Since the blue battle is a naval battlefield, the role of your characters is minimal, and instead, fleet combat is the core of
O foco é
all
o
tactics
barco.
and strategies.
Mas será que não vai dar pra poder pular no barco inimigo e meter a trina?
So in order to create fights that are actually fun, we have added 2 special rules to keep things interesting. First, all ship movements are halved. All ships participating in the blue battlefield will have their movements-related stats such as speed, axle, turn, and brake reduced by 50%.
O barco vai ser nerfado na
It might
velocidade.
feel a bit sluggish compared to normal sailing, but
Faz
the current
sentido,
ship
porque
speed is too fast for
Os
naval
barcos são muito
combats.
rápidos, faz sentido,
This
ok?
change is meant to encourage more strategic and enjoyable sea battles. Second, you cannot repair ships during the battle.
Tá, não pode
Maintaining
reparar o
your
barco.
fleet is key in this content,
Não
and
dá pra,
thus revive items
provavelmente
like
não
Tears
vai
of
dar
the
pra
Deep are
ficar
also
usando
disabled.
aquela Helion de barco também,
If
igual
your
os
ship
caras
is
fazem
destroyed,
pra...
you will have
Ou
to turn
fazia,
to
né,
warp,
antigamente,
repair,
pra atrapalhar
and set
os
sail
can.
again. To prevent players from being stranded at sea, we'll provide a traveler's map with a short cooldown specifically designed for the blue battlefield.
Vai ter um mapinha pra você sair do lugar e não ficar preso no mar.
Sounds really interesting.
And obviously, even if your ship is destroyed during the blue battlefield, your sailors won't suffer any penalties, so charge into combat.
Ou talvez seja a hora de investir num barquinho de guerra, viu?
Now let's talk about the roles and synergies of different ship types. Since the blue battlefield is a guild
Talvez seja a hora
scale
de investir num
battle,
barquinho
how
de
you
guerra.
manage your fleet is crucial. First, the guild galley serves as a flagship. In the blue battlefield,
galeão
the
da
ship
guild,
becomes
é verdade.
extremely durable. And compared to other ship types, it can do much
Caralho.
more damage against
Mano,
forts.
quantos anos
So
atrás que eles
utilizing
lançaram o
this
galeão de
flagship is the
guild?
key to
Foi em
victory.
2019.
However,
Levou 6 anos pra eles acharem uma utilidade
you
pro galeão
cannot
de
make use
guild.
of multiple galleys. Only one elite
E tem
galley
aquele
is allowed
galeão,
per
tem
guild.
aquele galeão especial que ganha na
This
Siege,
is to
né?
reduce burden of
Nossa senhora!
constructing and improving multiple galleys for the content.
Tem aquele galeão especial que ganha na Siege, aquele vai ser muito louco.
So, for Carracks are better at destroying enemy fleets, serving as your main combat units. Protecting the flagship, the guild galley, while destroying enemy fleets will be their main mission. I said that once the blue battlefield begins, all ships will have their movement stats reduced by 50%. Please note that this movement stat reduction may vary depending on the ship type. The Panoxons will act as tanks, breaking enemy formations. They'll
Carraca vai ser o DPS e o navio novo lá, o Panexão, vai ser o tanque. E o galeão da guild vai ser o navio principal.
Which allows quickly firing cannons from both sides. Panoxons can hold its position and stay strong for a long time, while disrupting enemies with fast fires, making them game changers in fleet battles. And finally, Etheria galleons are also eligible for battle, and this ship can become a wildcard. Etheria galleons are extremely tough, but their attacks are relatively weak. In order to make their balance suitable for the content, we plan to
Galeão de
slightly lower its
Etheria.
defense
Qual que é o
and boost its
galeão?
attack. Guilds with more galleons may have an advantage, but they'll also draw more attention from rivals. Now, after all these explanations on the blue battlefield, you may think, isn't this just another naval node war? And honestly, you're right. It will run 6 days a week, except Saturday,
PVP naval.
following the same time schedule as the regular node war.
Mas que
In other
horas que vai
words,
ser?
you could think of it as a standalone naval node war.
Vai ser todo dia. Mas vai ser que horas? Vai ser antes,
At
depois,
first, we
à
considered
tarde?
simply adding naval combat to the existing node war, but for all the Carrack owners, who've been waiting for naval combat content so patiently, and for those who've made ocean content their main focus, we wanted to offer something special, a dedicated
Eu ainda acho que vai ser muito desincado,
That's
mano.
why we've completely
A não ser que eles façam alguma...
and designed this content
A não ser que eles façam alguma atualização muito profunda ali, eu acho que PVP de barco vai ser muito desincado. PVP de barco nesse jogo é muito desincado, mano. Mesmo diminuindo a velocidade dos barcos.
So it's actually really, really nice.
Porque desde a época dos veleiros de Eféria já era desincado, mano.
And since ships are the center of this mode, it's naturally a bit more accessible and lighter compared to the original Node War. The rewards are also completely different, setting this content apart. Let's look at the rewards now then. Okay, we have designed helpful buffs for adventurers who enjoy seafaring, alongside guild funds and yellow or red grade sea crystals, according to a set probability. To sum it up, the Blue Battlefield is a naval PvP mode that borrows the
Eu acho
rules
que
of
voltou
the
agora.
current Node
Começou a
War
chover e caiu a
focusing on
internet.
ships. I would say this mode is for both seasoned and aspiring captains, and delivering a new, enjoyable experience has been our top priority when developing it. We'll put the greatest effort to make it enjoyable till the very last. Okay, that includes Chapter 2. Now let's take a look at when the update is coming on screen.
Vamos lá.
Okay, we see all the dates
See
again.
from most of them are coming July.
Nossa, já dia 30 do 7 já vai ter a guerra naval? Caralho, vai chegar rápido. Vai chegar rápido. 30 do 7 PVP naval.
네.
Nossa, esse aqui vai demorar um pouco ainda. Dia 27 do 8.
눌러서 담은 느낌이 있었는데 대표 메이드의
O preset único. E a empregada GPT em algum momento do mês 9. Ou essa empregada GPT vai ser o hype, mano. Nossa, o que eu vou fazer de roleplay com essa empregada GPT.
라는 생각이 좀 듭니다.
As someone still getting used to things, I really appreciate it.
편의성 개선도 굉장히 많았고요.
Plenty of quality of life upgrades were introduced, including energy storage, a seed bag, an outfit bag, at the Blue Battlefield. And I think it's time to go to Edania. So let's see
Edania.
what's next.
Vamos lá, região nova.
다음 챕터 가보시죠.
Okay. We're now on Chapter 3, Beyond the Desert
Linha de bar...
Sands.
Cara, empregada GPT, mano.
We are
Empregada
leveling up.
GPT. Empregada
We're
GPT.
getting there. I know
Mas
people are excited for
Edania
other
vai
stuff.
vir
Don't
forte.
shout,
Edania vai
we're
vir
on
forte.
our way.
Confia,
Okay?
confia. Eu
Now, this
acredito.
chapter is titled Beyond the Desert Sands. These are for those who settled in the world and gotten the hang of Black Desert. Our previous topics were a bit lighter, but since this chapter is just before heading to
Confia,
Edania,
confia.
we've
Edania vai vir
included some
forte.
advanced content. Since we have a lot to cover, let's dive right in. Okay, so first up is a new content called Alan Serban's Landscape. In Black Desert, many adventurers spend a long time aiming to find specific treasures. That passion for reaching your goals is truly inspiring.
Novo item
But that
tesouro?
challenge can feel overwhelming or even keep some from trying it at all. We've been thinking about it a lot because it's important to honor those who've reached these treasures after all those obstacles. So simply lowering the difficulty wasn't an option, but leaving things as they are didn't feel
Eles vão
quite
adicionar alguma
right.
recompensa nova por item
So,
tesouro?
we're proposing a new way of treasure hunting, which is called Alan Serban's Landscape.
Ah, vai ser um novo método de conseguir
The
item tesouro.
landscape painting you see here is a magical frame that captures the scenery of treasure monster zones, like History of Ruins or Ackman Temple. It's based on the Nader frame, found in Tariff. The idea is that by imbuing the frame with a spell, the energy of the specific location fuses with your character temporarily. While in this state, you gain a powerful effect. You can obtain treasure materials from the monster zone, even while subjugating in a different location.
Então você vai
For
poder
example,
pegar
if you
item
activate the
tesouro de
landscape of
qualquer
History
spot
Ruins,
do jogo.
even at monster zones other than History Ruins, such as
É
Golden
mais ou menos
Decay
isso que ele tá
or
falando, né?
Dark Secret's Retreat. Compass materials
Você vai poder,
obtained
tipo,
from
grindar
History Ruins
besouro
will
grama e
sometimes drop
dropar o anel do
Yes.
comerciante.
You won't be able to use it in every monster zone. The landscape will
besouro
only
grama
be
não.
available in zones with 300 plus AP.
Vai ser só besourograma 300 de AP+.
Sorry, I was a bit ahead down. Let's see, there we are.
Kind of like a treasure item drop event on demand.
To activate a landscape, you'll need a scenery item obtainable from each treasure monster zone. For example, if you defeat monsters in Historia Ruins, you can obtain Scenery of Historia. The landscape will react upon you.
Você ainda vai ter que farmar no spot, mas você vai ter que farmar menos. Você tem que farmar pra dropar o item, pra depois usar o item em outro spot.
With spell activated will consume spell charges. Think of it as working similarly to Agra's Fever.
Treasure Fever.
Yeah, Treasure Fever.
Vai ser tipo um Agres de tesouro, então.
I was ahead of it? Okay, no, I'm behind. This also means you can collect scenery items, characters of Historia Ruins, and tagged characters on your desired monster zone. You can consume the scenery of Historia. However, it doesn't mean that using the scenery increases your drop rate or anything like that. It only enables the item to drop in other zones, and even then at a fixed lower rate than it would in the original monster
A
zone.
chance vai ser menor do que na zona original.
Just like scroll written in ancient language, default guaranteed items are also included in the item drop table. This contents goal is completely tearing down the walls of treasure hunting, but rather giving you a bit more breathing room. We've designed it to stop adventurers from being stuck in one zone and let them breathe some different air from time to time. Also, you don't have to keep party zones running, because once you've obtained enough scenery items, you'll be able to go after the treasure items solo. We think this will be a nice advantage for many players. For now, each scenery item can only be obtained from the monster zones, but as we monitor the overall trend, we're planning to gradually add more resources for obtaining them.
Vai ficar pouco mais fácil de conseguir item tesouro.
And make the treasure hunting experience a bit more flexible. Next up is an update many adventurers have been requesting for a long time. We're revamping the Alchemy Stone system, chat.
Lá vem o Véu 2. Lá vem o Véu colorido.
It is now. Alchemy Stones are a key progression goal for our top-tier adventurers. But we've received a lot of feedback that the system is too complicated. There were two main issues. First, the level and grade systems.
Quem lembra do véu colorido?
Yeah? Second, the system itself was unfriendly and difficult to progress through. To fundamentally address these problems, we've prepared this revamp. Previously, Alchemy Stones had 8 levels from Imperfect to Shining, and each was split into 4 color grades, white, green, blue, and yellow. It was just too complicated, so moving forward, we're simplifying both the levels and grades, and as you can see, levels will now be reduced to 6. Imperfect, Sturdy, Sharp, Splendid, Splendid, and Shining. Each level will now only have 1 grade, Yellow. Adventurers with Alchemy Stones of the removed grades will be compensated with silver based on the grade of the stone. The UI layout will be improved along with levels and grades. Unlike other equipment, Alchemy Stone has a 2-step progression system, gaining EXP through polishing and leveling up through growth. This led to going back and forth between the tabs, making progression a tedious task. With the update, recharging growth can be done on the same screen. And you can probably see something else there, chat. There's also some changes to the growth difficulty. First, the success rate will now be displayed. Also, using Cronstone when attempting growth on an Alchemy Stone will prevent it from being destroyed even if you fail. The Ancient Anvil system is also being added. You'll be guaranteed to level up your Alchemy Stone after a certain number of failures. However, for the highest level Shining Alchemy Stone, its rarity and prestige will result in the amount of Agris essence required to use the Ancient Anvil being set to a very high number.
Vai ser difícil de conseguir.
Okay,
o véu 2.
The overall success rates for Alchemy Stones will also be slightly increased, but for the Shining Alchemy Stone, to honor the effort of so many adventurers who've overcome countless failures,
Cadê o Xuxinha?
with the Shining Alchemy Stones, the difficulty will
Cadê o
remain
Xuxinha?
high.
Oh, here's a video.
Okay, next up, let's watch this video.
Estão usando o vídeo da Soberana? Por que a Soberana desse cara tá brilhando? A minha não brilha desse jeito.
네, 많은 분들이 이번 연애
Okay, very nice. Woo woo.
I think many adventurers have been.
Ah, é a
Many
Soberana
adventurers were
Off-Hand.
speculating on this as the
É
reveal
a
of the
Off-Hand
new
da
items
Soberana.
or
Agora que eu percebi
sub-weapon.
que é o escudo que tá
Many
brilhando.
adventurers had a feeling it was coming, but everyone is asking, what kind of stats will it have? Shall we take a look
Já
at
tô
the
meio
effects
lento, mano.
first?
Já é quase 5 da manhã.
Let's take a look. Ooh.
Oh.
Look at that AP,
Tá.
chat. Look at the AP.
AP.
You know?
Many adventurers got this right.
Vai combinar os poderes da Nover e da Kutum. Vai ser uma soberana pra
So it
dominar o
combines the
jogo.
power of both Nova and Kutum. Its
Vai ser
enhancement
uma,
levels
vai
are
ser uma
the same as
secundária
those
só
for main
pro,
and
pro PVP e pro PVE.
comprised of 10 levels. The difficulty is
Imagina o
also
quão
identical.
difícil vai ser a
There
região
are three
nova
different crafting methods
pra ele
for
estar
the sovereign
adicionando esse
sub-weapon.
item no jogo.
Since it has the effect of 2 weapons 1, it does require a bit more materials compared to main or awakening weapons.
Yeah.
Nossa, vai
First,
ser mais
you can
difícil.
use 2 pen black
Tava
star
pensando que ia mudar de cor.
plus 1 gem
Me,
of
me liguei
twilight.
que era off-hand só quando tu
Second,
falou,
you can
então.
use a pen black star sub-weapon, 1 pen Kutum sub-weapon at Capras level 20, and a pen Nova sub-weapon at Capras level 20. Or third, a pen black star sub-weapon, a 1 gem of twilight, and a new item called Gem of the Primordial. The Gem of the Primordial is a new item, and we'll get to how to obtain it. We'll get to know how to obtain it shortly. Also, just like main and awakening weapons, sovereign sub-weapons gain additional
Você vai
visual
ter que ter
effects that
tanto a
pen
Nover quanto a Kutum C20.
please note
ou
that
vai
they
ter
cannot
que
be
ter
registered in
a
the central market. Next up, let's watch
Duas-
another clip.
Duas Xablau lá.
Oh, it's Wansu from the past.
Yes, it's Wansu from last year's ball.
It's Wansu from the past,
And
chat.
he is talking about a Dine Ardu Doom.
Ah, vai chegar o cavalo T11.
Yeah.
Vai chegar o cavalo
It's like
T11.
combining the horses, right? He said that he was gonna try and do that because chat wanted it.
And they,
Vai chegar o cavalo
here's they're talking
T11.
about how
Cadê o
we did
Xuxinha?
the save sap. And
Yeah.
the joke is like Wansu's name in Korean is kind of similar to like Walyo. It's like kind of similar to complete. So they were joking like, "Oh, your name is complete, so you're going to complete this, right?"
Nice.
Lá vem o T11.
That is right.
O T11
I'm
tinha
here with
vazado
my
também.
words from last winter. Hereby presenting Dine Ardunat Doom.
Video time.
Ó o T11 chegando. Caralho, já tá pronto, mano. Já tá no jogo, já tá pronto. Voou. Aterrissou na água. Caralho, isso vai ser bom demais, mano. Isso vai ser bom demais. Acabou pros caras. Aí vai chegar no deserto e vai virar unicórnio. Cadê? Se tudo que precisar pra fazer esse cavalo ser ter os 3 cavalos, eu já tenho. Agora, se precisar grindar alguma coisa nova, eu tô fudido.
Yeesh. That's crazy. That was so
That
seamless.
was really good.
Okay.
Just like in the video, on flat land it charges forward in the form of Mythical Doom, glides as Mythical Ardunat while airborne, and walks on the water as Mythical Dine on the sea. And in desert it takes on the form of Dream Horse Dine. Since Dine fits the desert best, we decided to add it in as well.
That's nice.
When I first brought this up, I wanted it to be meaningful for all trainers out there, but I didn't want to burden you with more cores or requirements. So after some thought, I realized that those who already built Sanctuary are, in a way, the ultimate trainers. That is why we are sending out this horse to everyone who has a Sanctuary.
Todo mundo que já tem um santuário de
This isn't a
Crocodilo
one-time
vai
event
ganhar de
reward either.
grátis.
From now on, anyone who builds a Sanctuary
Todo
will
mundo que já
obtain
tem
one.
o retiro
So
de
you can take
Crocodilo
out
vai
this
ganhar
horse with your main character
o
and leave
T11
your
de graça.
Sanctuary to opt as
Obrigado,
you see fit.
obrigado, J Falso.
Nice. It's like a set.
Obrigado por não
set
fazer isso
proposal.
mais um RNG de 1% que você tem que clicar uma vez por
Yeah.
mês.
활용을 하셔도 되고요. 둥지는 이제 부캐 주셔서 활용하셔도 좋을 것 같습니다. 이 디네 아두아나트 둠은
So you could just leave your other
Oh,
sanctuary. for your
This
enthusiasm.
own-
spatial Dine Ardunat
nice.
Doom comes fully loaded. It starts at level 1 but already knows all 37 skills at 100%, excluding the 2-seater skill. And its base stats are set to highest values amongst mythical horses. For example, its speed matches Arduno's highest and turn matches Doom's top stat. As the best horse in Black Desert, we made it sure it has the best possible stats to match.
Oh.
Okay, that's nice.
And actually, I haven't come up with its name yet. So it's called Dine Arduino Doom for now. But if you recommend any good names, we may use them when we go live.
Yeah, chat. Send us some ideas, chat. Send us
please.
some samples. Stop it.
Oh, we have
Yeah.
another
And
video.
also,
Stop.
we have another clip.
Outro clipe.
Oh,
Vai dar
this
pra
is,
poder tirar o
the
cavalo
attack
do
character.
personagem?
Yeah.
Yo.
Mas isso já dá pra fazer. Isso já dá pra fazer, não dá? Não, ainda tem uma tela, né?
Okay, it's like instant transmission.
Yeah, this is actually something that is still experimental level. We are working on the feature lets you instantly switch the tag character without any loading time. Honestly, it's still too early to say for sure whether this will be possible or not, but if everything goes well, while there will be still a yeah.
Isso vai ser muito bom pra quem faz
that does make
PVP.
sense. Being able to that does make sense. Being
Tipo,
able
você
to
tá
instant
grindando com o teu
transmission
alt
just about.
e é
That was
gankado,
great, by the way.
você dá insta, você muda insta pro teu
Of course,
main
this
de
feature
PVP.
remains uncertain for now, but I wanted to share this with you because this motivates us to work even harder. So consider this as a little push for ourselves as well.
Mas meio que já dá pra
We'll
fazer
do
isso, só que tem
Our
uma
best
tela
to
de
make
load
this
bem
happen, just
rápida.
like Dine Arduino
Você
2,
pode colocar
and
inclusive
that
em
drops off
atalho
the
pra fazer
details for
isso.
chapter 3. Now let me tell you
Só
when
que
you
sem
can
tela
expect
de
this
load
update.
seria melhor.
Ooh.
He also made another joke saying that with his name.
Oh yeah. Complete.
Yeah, with his own template. So, Sovereign Subweapons, August 6th.
August 6th. Okay.
DNA Ardu Doom is August 13th.
Tudo em agosto.
The
Soberana. Essa soberana
Landscape is
vai.
August 27th.
Essa soberana vai pegar forte, viu?
And the Alchemy Stone
Prepara o
renewal
grind.
is set for September.
September. Okay.
Eu acho que eles tinham que
Nice.
entregar, integrar essa pedra de alquimia junto com o Velma.
Beyond the Desert sounds
Sinceramente.
great. Or Beyond the Desert sounds great.
Yeah.
Alan Servan's Landscape. Alchemy Stone Rework, Sovereign Subweapons, DNA Ardu not Doom. That's a lot.
Nice.
I think we really do need a
Dine
better
Arduino
name.
Doom.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
let's keep them coming.
The most popular name is in the chat now.
Yeah, apparently it's Dad.
Yes.
Dad is the name of the
Dad
horse.
is the name.
I think that's just how it's going to be from now on. Sad.
Tinha que ser só Krogdal o nome dele.
For me, like the character tagging switch was actually crazy to see. It's
Yeah,
like,
it was.
instantly, yeah.
Super
Without
good.
any loading.
Yeah.
But now, I think it's time for chapter 4, everyone.
Well,
It's finally time.
yeah.
It's finally
Agora,
time for
Edania.
Edania, everyone.
Maybe, but before that, I think we're going to go into 3.5.
Ixi.
So yes, we are, but just before we move on to Edania, there's something important I'd like to talk about first. Those who remember the last Calcium Ball may be wondering, when is it happening? It's the patch we were promised for removing resistance from PvP
Ah,
and
a
using the
resistência do
class
PvP.
synergies. That's what I want to talk about now.
Cadê o balanceamento PVP que você prometeu e não cumpriu, gordinho?
The removal of PvP resistance is a change to a core system that has been part of Black Desert since its earliest days. That's why we needed to approach this with a great consideration. So as we were preparing this update, other issues and lingering regrets have also been in our minds. For example, the class summons and the long-standing issue with them. Confusion and challenges in bouncing from an outdated damage calculation formula. And on top of that, a diminishing sense of progression. These challenges that we needed to overcome kept coming into mind. We need to sort it all out at once, chat. Over the
Caramba.
past 10 years, Black Desert has truly come a long
Lá
way.
vem
But
bomba.
that time means some of our systems became outdated, while others accumulated problems upon problems. So with this opportunity, we wanted to not only address PvP resistance, but also clearly organize and improve the aforementioned issues. Looking back at each of them, it pretty much required a complete rebuild of Black Desert's entire combat structure.
Rework
which is why
3.0.
it took so much time.
Rework do
Now
PVP
that most of the work
3.0.
is finally wrapping up, on this very day, right before the launch of Edania, we're excited to share with our adventurers the changes we've prepared. There's quite a bit
Chegou o
to say
PVP
about this.
4.
Yeah, as Jessup mentioned earlier, over the past 10 years of Black Desert, our combat system has gradually become more complex.
A bit slow.
Alongside that, a number of issues have also accumulated. The changes we've made were done with the goal of streamline and unity in mind. There are 4 key areas we're focusing on with this overhaul. First, refining the damage calculation formula. Second, removing resistance from PvP.
Tirar a resistência do
Third,
PVP,
grouping synergy
ok.
multipliers. And fourth, improving the system to enhance the sense of equipment growth.
Beleza.
First is refining the damage calculation
A
formula.
fórmula do dano do BD é uma das
Started
coisas
by
mais
clarifying
esquisitas
the
do
basic
jogo.
terminology, specifically for evasion or accuracy and evasion. They were often displayed as accuracy rate, evasion rate, causing confusion. Now, these will be unified as accuracy and evasion with a 1% to 4-point conversion rate. This change should prevent any further confusion with mixed terminology. Additionally, all accuracy effects attached to each class's skills will now be removed. Currently, each class receives different accuracy effects for each skill based on their unique characteristics. Because of this, balancing has been difficult. And there have been certainly cases where things felt unfair depending on the situation. So we plan to remove all accuracy rate attached to individual skills and instead add an accuracy plus 18 per skill to Infinite Mastery, a common passive skill for all characters.
Now this
Tá,
might
eles
be
vão
a bit
unificar todas
confusing,
as
so
precisões
to give
do
you an
jogo,
example,
né?
currently this is the Hashashin skill Inquisition. This skill has a stat that increases accuracy rate by 19% and a buff that increases all accuracy rate plus 6% for 10 seconds when using the skill. Such
Eles vão tirar o
effects that
buff
come
e
with
vão
the
unificar em
skill itself
25%.
will be removed going forward, and accuracy will instead be added to a common passive skill, Infinite Mastery. Please do note that accuracy effects on class-specific passive skills will remain
Mas
the
isso não
same.
vai ser buff
This
pra
way,
evasão?
every class will be able to use more diverse combos without being limited by skills that increase accuracy rate. Next is about the damage reduction rate of super armor. Am I a bit fast? I am a bit fast. This time I'm a bit fast. Sorry, Chip. Can't get it right. Can't get it right. PvP players may already know this, but other adventurers might find this unfamiliar. The damage reduction rate have been applied as a multiplicative stat so far, but since it applies differently from various buffs in the game, we are changing it to an additive calculation for unification and intuitiveness. For just changing the formula like this would diminish the efficiency of skills that increase damage reduction rate. So, we'll be adjusting the damage reduction rates of these skills, along with the formula. We are sharing this as there are changes being made, but we'll make sure that it doesn't feel any different from before.
Falou e não falou
Next
nada.
is on extra damage to species. We wish to clearly distinguish how it's applied in PvP and PvE. For example, extra damage to humans will no longer activate when you fight with another adventurer in PvP, and will only activate against humanoid monsters. Instead, the effect that applies to another character in PvP will be replaced with a new one called Extra Damage to Characters. This will reduce confusion by clearly distinguishing PvE and PvE.
Tá, não vai ter mais
PvE
dano,
and PvP.
dano humano no
With this change,
PvE.
you might
Vamos
be
separar
worried
isso.
about the items with
Bom
extra
dia, eu
damage to
entendi o que ele
humans.
falou
This
no
patch
wipe o
will
dia
also
inteiro do
add
ano
the
que
same
vem.
amount of extra damage to characters to
Então tá.
all items that already have the extra damage to humans effect. Existing items will be updated in this way, and going forward will make appropriate use of extra damage to characters in various ways. There'll be some changes to extra damage to species itself. First, the extra damage to species will no longer exceed the AP limit for monster zones. In other words, it will not go over the soft cap.
Tá, não vai
We're
mais
preparing
poder
a comprehensive
fazer
rework
aquele
to
negócio
ensure
de
that the difficulty
colocar dano
and
humanoide acima do
efficiency
cap
of
pra
monster
farmar
zones
em
are
região de
balanced
nível
with
baixo.
these changes. There are also additional changes in store, so stay tuned for them too. Next, on to the summons. From now on, the damage calculation formula for summoned entities will be the same as for your character. The summons will now also benefit from your character's damage effects, as well as any
Boa notícia pro grind da nova, viu?
that occur in certain situations. On the other hand,
Grind da nova Suki tá sendo salvo com esse patch aí.
the target damage reduction, and stats will now be applied to summons in the same way as they are to characters. Not
Os
monsters.
buffs do personagem
As
vai
I
pegar
gave
no
an
patch.
explanation about extra damage to species earlier, please keep in mind that summons will now be affected by extra damage to characters, not monsters. And something many adventurers have talked about, the fact that summons get stronger at night will be removed. Summons have
Eu nem
always
sabia
played
disso.
a significant role in many skills in Black Desert. And it took longer than we anticipated with how much work was needed. I'm personally happy that we're finally able to tidy things up. We'll pay close attention until the end. Ensure these updates do not cause issues with balance. Okay,
Those are some fundamental changes.
yeah. So, I'm now going to go over some of the PvP resistances.
Moving on to second key area, removing PvP resistances. Going forward, resistances quite literally will no longer apply in PvP. There are a few things to consider with this change. First, effect
Já era,
related to
acabou a
resistances
resistência.
is so-called 3 minutes buffs or in passive effects will be replaced with other effects that suits characters' characteristics.
Buff Awakening do
However,
Zark.
they will still be applied in PvE, so any resistance increases attached to skill will remain. One of the biggest concerns we had when removing resistances from PvP was grapple. With grapple resistance gone, grapple skills will become significantly more powerful, and classes with ranged grapple skills could become disproportionately strong compared to those with
Tira
melee
grab
grapple.
range do jogo, pelo amor de
We
Deus.
plan to address this making distinguishable ranged grapple animations, for example, a wind-up animation when attempting a ranged grapple, and the speed and the style of these animations
Caralho,
will play a key
nerfaram.
role in
Vão
balance.
nerfar o grab da
Melee
LAN.
grapples will also go through some adjustments. We'll put our best effort
Acabaram
into
com a
making this
gameplay do
change,
Glu
and
Glu Glu.
it could
Vão
be
nerfar
done
o
in a
grab da
different
LAN.
way in the future, as we consider various other methods while we prepare this change.
That's nice. The wind-up is nice. Like, that's definitely going to be more telegraphed, it seems.
Vai, o grab ranged vai ter uma animação de carregar. Acabaram com a gameplay da LAN. Mataram a LAN.
Additionally, the grapple resistance is not used against monsters either, so the effect will be removed entirely. Items that currently increase or ignore grapple resistance will be converted to silver with the patch to be received by the adventurers.
Nice.
So,
Okay, next.
I think
Next up, grouping synergy multipliers. Screen, please.
this I think it's
Mucho texto.
Oh, so it's kind of split into three different things.
Yeah.
Mucho texto. Não entendi nada.
As you can see on the screen,
Synergy
synergy multipliers of
multipliers,
classes will be applied in three different groups, depending on the characteristics of each class. If you look at Ranger, you'll notice that Succession and Awakening are placed in different groups. Succession
Mano,
Ranger uses a ranged weapon,
Tá tudo em coreano, meu amigo.
primarily uses
Coloca uns
melee
desenhinhos, por
skills.
favor.
Like this, as classes have different playstyles between Succession and Awakening.
Tá, esse vai ser o
making them more
triângulozinho
appropriate
das
for different
armas,
groups.
então.
We'll also carefully
Mas tá tudo em coreano e não
review
deu pra
each
entender
class
nada.
to see if there are any areas that are lacking or need improvement until the patch goes live. So this is kind of a change on the class damage modifiers.
Right.
There's one more important thing. We have decided to block mouse movement with this update as well.
Não! Eles tiraram o mouse movement do jogo. Acabaram com a minha gameplay. Acabaram com a minha
It's been a
gameplay.
feature since the very beginning,
Cadê o macho?
and many adventures have
Mataram o
become
Berserker.
accustomed to it, which is why we've kept it in the
Mataram o
game.
Berserker.
But over time, it began to affect the balance of the game as it started to become a deciding factor in adventure skill.
F Berserker. Já pode enterrar a
So along
classe.
with the
Yeah.
aforementioned changes, we're taking this
No.
opportunity to fully disable mouse movement. We understand that adventurers who use this feature see mouse movement as part of the character's balance, and that they could take the removal of the feature as a nerf or debuff to their character.
Quando vai ser o funeral? Funeral do Berserker amanhã.
We'll all be also making the appropriate
Funeral do Berserker amanhã.
Yeah. So this may have been very sudden for some, because it's not something that was mentioned last year. But as Wansu explained, there were many problems with it, and some
Zercão, rapaz.
that needed to be
Acabou,
fixed.
acabou.
Mouse movement
Agora todo mundo vai virar guardia. Acabou o Berserker.
Mid-animation, which
Todo mundo vai virar
directly
striker.
leads to issues such as desynchronization, where the screen you see is not identical to the screen other players see. That's why we decided that blocking mouse movement will lead to a more enjoyable experience for everyone, as well as resolve the desync issue. We'll prepare this change thoroughly so we can provide better PvP and a more stable combat environment.
Velório do Berserker,
I
viu?
mean, yeah, I think people have all seen the videos. Now, for the last key area, improving the sense of growth. Going forward, if your AP is above 310, you'll gain +5 extra AP against monsters for every point of AP. Of course, these are still under tests for balance adjustments, so the numerical values may change. But up until now, while gear performance have always been important,
Tá passando um filme pela cabeça. Eu tô pensando, porque eles já tentaram remover o mouse movement uma vez. Eu acho que se eu procurar no meu canal, eu ainda tenho o vídeo que eu fiz. Eu fiz um vídeo, porque uma vez eles colocaram isso no Labs e voltaram atrás, porque muita gente chorou. Só que isso era na época do Jota. Agora o Majin Buu aqui comeu o Jota, mano. Agora não tem mais salvação. Agora acabou o Berserker.
Monster zones had an unclear AP limit or soft cap, had inconsistent hunting efficiency, and some classes were even able to perform in higher level monster zones with lower AP. So, we first reassigned the AP requirement of all monster zones with care. Our goal is to clearly outline the required specs
eles vão
step
dar
by step.
uma retrabalhada nos requerimentos de AP para zona de monstros.
Significantly reduces your efficiency, while meeting the requirement provides clear rewards. We especially want you to really feel the result of increasing AP throughout this process. That's why, as a part of this monster zone overhaul, we've designed the AP limits or soft caps in a much more systemic way. If your AP goes above the requirement of a monster zone, your efficiency there will not increase sharply. Instead, as your AP increases, you'll get better loot and experience a clear sense of growth by moving to a higher level monster zone. So you have no reason to stay in the same zone. Since this patch means meeting the AP requirement is essential for efficient hunting, we will reduce situations where monsters deal unexpectedly powerful attacks that can instantly incapacitate adventurers. In other words, preventing getting one
Mas pro
shot.
combate do jogo, de forma geral, faz sentido tirar o mouse movement.
At this time, we don't have
Faz
any additional
sentido.
plans for
Mas é que
defense
realmente é um puta nerf pro
We are still
Berserker isso aí.
thinking over this, however. Since Black
Berserker,
Desert
quem
is a
mais?
field-based game, we want to leave some room
Teleporte
for
do
adventurers to
mago,
make up
voo
for
da
low
lã.
DP with
Essas
their
classes
own
aí vão
skills.
sofrer.
Our philosophy is that while AP has to be met, DP is something that can be overcome with skill. But instead, DP will be a set minimum requirement for challenge-based objectives, not regular fields, so open world monster zones, guys. In other words,
Rapaz, eu tô com sono,
instance
viu?
dungeon content, if you don't meet the minimum DP, you won't be able to enter these types of content. That way, DP will still be a meaningful stat for those who work towards it. And it allows us to design the content to not be overwhelmingly difficult. Following this, boss blitz content such as Black Shrine or Ataraxian will have their AP and DP requirements adjusted. Like the monster zones, we plan to gradually ease the difficulty of content that felt too challenging. To summarize, moving forward, the efficiency of field monster zones will be designed around AP, while instant dungeon content like bosses will require adventurers to meet both AP and DP requirements. This will be our philosophy in redesigning all monster zones and content. It will be a lot of changes, but we'll try our best to ensure no part of this feels like a nerf. And this new approach is reflected in the upcoming new region, Edania.
Lá vem a Edania. Agora vem a Edania.
Now that wraps up the introduction to the relevant changes with so many updates. Oh, we're not going into that part yet. Go ahead, chap. My bad. So as I was saying, this wraps up. And I know a lot of you might feel a bit confused, but at the same time, we hope there are people who see the positive side of bringing more structure and improvement. No
Henrique
matter how
Marinho,
late it might
obrigado
feel,
pelo follow.
we too have our concerns about changing an existing system. It's not the act of changing itself that worries us, but rather how these changes will affect our adventurers, you guys, how you might feel about it. Having love for this game, playing every day for years, and seeing it suddenly change could definitely make you feel a sense of loss or disappointment. Even so, we believe that the changes we've shared are essential for Black Desert to move forward and build a better future. We'll be putting all our efforts in, and we hope you'll continue to support us. There's a lot included in these updates, so we won't roll everything out at once. Starting from July, so from next week, the updates will be gradually introduced on the Black Desert Lab, where they will be tested and refined for about a month. We're aiming to we're aiming for the end of July for the live service updates, and we'll do our best for it.
We went a little ahead of him.
F Berserker.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's
But it is a lot, and I think for a lot of adventures, it's a lot of big fundamental changes.
Yeah.
But it's kind of needed to make
right.
future stuff better, basically.
Yeah, a lot of this is 100% needed.
원래 챕터가
Like,
총 4개였었는데
there was, like,
3.5
I think-
얘기하신 이유를 알 것 같습니다.
I think everyone will, I think I can understand now why this was called chapter 3.5.
Yeah.
It was really important. How do you feel, chat?
I don't know, what do you think, chat?
I
Is
think,
this real chat?
like, it's something that's
Thumbs up, thumbs
something.
down.
I think all these changes are kind of meant for the next 10 years of Black Desert. It felt especially meaningful and in depth, but I think it's finally time for the next chapter, Edania.
Yeah.
But before we move on, it was a lot to take in, so we're going to have a small
Fazer
break.
intervalo.
Small break to take it all in.
Water break.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we'll have a clip with the ball schedule, so please go grab some water, hydrate, and we'll come back through the announcements. So in 10 minutes, everyone, 10 minutes.
Nossa, ainda vai ter intervalo de
Prepare,
10
chat.
minutos.
We're
See you
about
in
to
10
step
minutes.
in.
O que eu
See you
precisava
very
pegar uma
soon,
água.
and we'll see you very soon.
Eu vou mutar aqui porque eu não sei se vocês vão tocar alguma música com copyright. Cadê o... Onde é que eu deixei o outro? Vou pegar uma água ali e já volto também. Ai, ai, lá vamos nós. 10 minutos de intervalo é muita coisa. Aceita uma paçoquita? Minha paçoquita tá toda amassada. AMD. Grandiosa AMD. Pra quem quer não rodar os jogos por causa de problema de driver, a AMD é muito boa. Meu BDO fechou aquela hora que a internet caiu. Deixa eu ver se eu consigo abrir aqui. Como que tá aqui no... Vocês lembram do banquete passado que eles esquiparam o servidor SA porque tinha pouca gente no evento? Hoje tem bastante, eles não vão nem mostrar, né? Já se despediu do Berserker, Berserker foi de base. Sabe o que eu tava pensando também agora? Eu vi o cara falando no chat e eu pensei justamente nisso. Eles vão nerfar a precisão de todas as classes, porque eles vão trocar 25% para 18%. E eles vão integrar a Kutum com a Nover. Vai vir um puta meta de evasão por aí, viu? Se eles não mudarem mais nada nas outras fórmulas, vai vir um puta meta de evasão, se prepara. Nossa senhora. Já pode ir trocando todos os jogadores de Berserker, já pode criar Striker aí. E já faz a despedida do Berserker, velório do Berserker. Ainda não achei que já tinha voltado. Não é 18%, é 18 base por nível de maestria infinita, passiva de HP. Não é o que pareceu escrito ali, mas eu posso estar errado. De um jeito ou de outro, só de integrar Kutum com a Nover já beneficia bastante build de evasão. Eu jogo há um mês e não sabia que ela gravava a distância. Ai, ai. Pois é, esse nerf eu gostei bastante. Os grab à distância agora vai ter que carregar. Nossa senhora, o Glu 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 deve estar muito feliz uma hora dessa. Pra LAN, esse patch vai ser o pior de todos pra LAN Awakening. Porque tiraram o mouse movement do voo da LAN Awakening e tiraram o grab range de instantâneo dela. Vai ter uma animação de carregamento. Chegou a Edania. Calma aí. Ó o Jordine. O DK masculino! DK masculino confirmado. O Rachachim masculino também. Rachachim africano. Ai, ai. O Joy Joy tinha esse meme, mano. O Joy Joy falava: não recruta esse cara pra guild, não. O cara joga de Rachachim, o Rachachim dele é branco.
Okay, welcome back from the break, chat. I hope everyone's excited with
O Rachachim branco era o meme da Plague.
That looked like Edania.
Se duvidar, a Plague falhou por causa dos Rachachim branco.
Okay. Here we go.
Chegou Edania.
Are we ready for chapter 4?
Yes. We're going to look at the new region, Edania. Since it's a place filled with new challenges, we've given it a pretty grand title, Transcending All Limits. Edania is located north of Valencia. You might remember the strait you crossed to reach Hakoven Island. Edania is the continent that stretches above these cliffs. In the story of Black Desert, this region is occasionally mentioned under the name Ilieli. Back in 2020, when Hashashin was first introduced, we caught our first glimpse of its silhouette in the trailer. The Hashashins who guarded the doors of Ilieli appear as main NPCs in Edania. These heroes have battled monsters at the world's edge, waging a solitary war that goes unseen and unrecognized. As we shared last year, Edania is planned to be released in parts 1 and 2.
Oh, o
You can see
PVPzinho.
the full map of Edania on the
Esse
screen.
PVPzinho de
The
Edania é o
upcoming
que tá o
part
hype.
1 will take place on the left side of the continent, and part 2 on the right. At the southwestern tip of Edania, you'll find Hakinja Sanctuary, your new base camp. This town offers services such as a blacksmith and a stable. To the right of the town are the castles of Edania. You can see Jordine's Etherian castle, Enslar's Orbiter castle, and Khafre's Zephyros castle, which were teased during the last ball.
O Jordine é o guerreiro, a Enslar é a templária, mas eu não sei quem que é o Khafres.
Rashalka's Nymphomare castle and Karshin's Tenebram castle.
Kart é Sork, o outro eu não sei quem é.
It's Jordine yet again, and Khafres well known thanks to Khafres stones and Altar of Blood. Enslar and Karshin probably sound familiar, so those who played Valkyrie and Sorceress, but I don't think many of you would have heard of Rashalka.
O Salka é novo.
Back on May 21st,
Rusalka
we
é o
got
macaco.
about Rusalka through the Sea Crystal item and the special story quest. We've been gradually building up to reveal the story of the Merfolk, the race of Corsair's mother,
Não.
and you'll discover even more intriguing stories connected to these
O Salka é a
characters in Edania.
Corsária?
Part 1 of Edania features 5 castles and monster zones in this way. In terms of difficulty, the order is Jordine, Rusalka, Karshian, Enslar, then Khafres. For the final boss of Part 1, Khafres will be waiting for you. We're also preparing several castles for Part 2. To give just one spoiler, we're building a massive castle at the northern edge of Edania. The lord of this castle is the Black Dragon, Mark Thanon, who you met in the Mountain of Eternal Winter.
Vai, o Zedão vai estar lá esperando a rapaziada de Dracania Awakening. Aí ferrou. Na parte 2.
As Edania marks the culmination of Black Desert's first 10 years, we have paid close attention to every detail. From the background to the stories of each character, we took extra care in selecting the bosses adventurers would encounter in Edania.
Tá, e o
Because we
PVP?
believe these moments when you encounter legendary beings you've only heard about during the story, or only met through their voices are important. So, that when you finally stand before the ultimate boss of this world, it will feel truly meaningful and convincing. Through this journey of overcoming her, the story will naturally lead into the next 10 years of Black Desert.
BDO2.
With this in mind, the characters we introduced earlier, Enslar, the apostle of the Elonian Church, the world's largest religion, Karshian, connected to the true nature of the Black Spirit, your adventuring partner, Jordine, and Khafres, both closely tied to the power of darkness, and Rusalka, the queen of the mermaids, Corsair's bloodline, whose story has remained untold until now, have been chosen as bosses of Edania, Part 1. As you confront these bosses, you'll gain a clear understanding of the key lore elements scattered throughout the story so far, and know exactly who you must face in Part 2 of Edania, the finale of Black Desert's first act, and why you must defeat her. I'm sure many of you are also curious about the story in Edania. I can imagine some of the questions you might have, like, so, is this finally the end? Are we really going to take down Alezra this time? But this time, Edania will be truly different. We've carefully prepared a story that will make you say it was worth the wait, and the loose ends that need to be tied up with the fully resolved in Part 1. And Part 2 will leave you excited for the next chapter.
História
of
boa
the
no
adventure.
BDO? Isso eu duvido
Also
muito.
put a lot of effort
Infelizmente,
in
eu
the main
duvido muito.
questline. With plenty of cutscenes and cinematic moments, we hope you enjoy the story as you look back on your journey so far. For Edania's main questline, you'll need to have completed the final Gladios quest to proceed. Previously, you could only start the next quest with the character who completed the previous one, which was inconvenient for many of you. This time, as long as you've completed the final Gladios, you can start Edania main quest with any character in your family, so you can enjoy the story with the class you want. That wraps up the overview of what's to come. Now, Wansu will take over and share the details with you.
Let me introduce the monster zones, bosses, and loot you'll find in
Agora a
Edania.
parte importante, o grind.
First, the monster zones in Edania are similar to existing ones, but with some differences. Monsters are loyal to each castle zone will be played around the castle. You'll battle these monsters as you would in the other monster zones, and battle against the lords, as known as the bosses, will take place within their castle. The castle with the lowest difficulty is Jordan's Atarian Castle, which requires 350 AP and 427 DP. Since it's a monster zone at the beginning of Edania, we didn't want to set requirements too high. At first glance, the AP and DP requirements for the first region might seem a bit high, but since we are preparing
350 de AP pro spot mais fraco.
we expect adventurers will be able to enter monster zones sooner than you might think. As mentioned earlier, the first monster zone and the boss fight against Jordan will have the requirements that most adventurers can meet, but the bosses that follow will have significantly higher AP and DP requirements.
Cheguei agora, o que
The
aconteceu?
AP requirements for later castles
Campo de batalha do mar vai chegar esse mês ainda. Vai ter node war de barco. Vai ter uma empregada personalizada que você vai poder escolher a classe dela, inclusive Shy. Você vai poder equipar um traje personalizado na tua empregada e ela vai ter inteligência artificial igual o chat GPT para você poder conversar com ela. E o resto é tudo qualidade de vida. Vai chegar o T11, você vai precisar ter os 3 T10 para ter o T11.
So today we prepared a video showcasing a battle with the new boss.
Vai chegar o que mais? Era o T11 e a secundária da Soberana vai ser a soma da Kutum com a Nova. Vai ser os dois efeitos juntos, o AP e a evasão e o dano a monstro, tudo junto. Tá porra. Nossa, o Guerreiro Suki todo travado. Quem que colocaram o Jota pra jogar nesse trailer aí, certeza. Essa Valkyrie tá bufada. Valkyrie não solta raio laser no jogo. Mas já colocaram o V-Golds pra jogar de Ranger.
Okay, nice.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I need more DP, definitely. There will be a total of 5 bosses in Edania, and you'll be only able to take one boss per week. To make up for this, we made it so that the higher the difficulty, better the loot you'll receive. Since this is weekly content and we don't want to make it overly challenging, and because this is another major boss update following Ataraxion and Black Shrine, we didn't want to overwhelm adventurers. So just one boss a week is all you need to focus on.
I know like a lot of people are worried about AP.
Now let's move on the loot that you can earn in Edania. First, new artifact and lightstone items will be added. These are entirely new items though. With the new loot you gather defeating monsters in Edania, you'll be able to reform your existing artifacts, like decky artifacts, to
Artefato de DR parte 2,
you can also create new lightstones by combining existing ones with the new materials. Let me show you an example of a new artifact and lightstone. Let's take a look at the screen.
Nossa, quando eu achei que eu tinha me livrado disso, lá vem artefato novo.
This is Dekia's Visionary Artifact. Compared to the regular Dekia's Artifact, this one gives an additional all AP plus 6. Here, we have the Amplified Lightstone of Fire, Fallen. It grants additional extra damage to species plus 2. Then, the regular Lightstone of the Fire Fallen. Also, if the Lightstones are the same type, like Lightstone of Fire, Fallen, and Amplified Lightstone of Fire, Fallen, they're still combined according to usual rules, and provide the same combination effects as before. In Edania, we're also introducing a new monster type, Edanian monsters. As the name suggests, the monsters you'll encounter here will be
Ou seja, vai precisar de uma nova pedra para colocar dano contra monstro de Edania.
New crystals items will also have this new stat. Earlier, we mentioned the extra damage to species will no longer contribute to break.
Tá, eles tinham prometido que ia ter um modo PVP. Cadê o tal do modo PVP?
In entering high-tier monster zones.
É isso que eu tô
This
curioso.
extra damage to Edania monsters will be crucial to start the adventures. We're adding new crystal items for Edania. From low-tier monster zones, you can obtain the Crystal of Dusky Oblivion, and from high-tier monster zones, the Crystal of Dusky Ruin. Both come with extra damage to Edanian monsters, to be sure to make the most of them and take on higher-tier monster zones. We're also introducing a new life crystal, the Crystal of Breathing Verdure. Think of this as upgraded versions that combine the effects of both the life skill crystal of vital life crystal and the vital crystal. It provides both life EXP and life skill mastery buffs. So, you no longer have to switch between crystals for different setups. These can be crafted using materials gathered from new life skill resources in Edania. And please note, we're also working on making it possible to upgrade existing Dawn crystals. Now let's talk about alchemy. With the introduction of extra damage to Edania monsters, new elixirs drafts and 2 new perfume recipes will be added.
Ai, ai, ai. E aqui já tem pouco
As you can
perfume
see
no
on the
jogo,
screen,
né?
new elixirs will be available. Also, with PvP-related perfumes like the Perfume of Courage and Perfume of Deep Sea in high demand lately, we're planning to add new, high-quality perfume recipes in Edania as well. The new perfumes can be crafted with materials from Edania, and you can also use existing perfumes as ingredients. For those who've been crafting the existing perfumes, you've probably continued making them in older regions even after new areas were added. Now, existing perfumes can be used as ingredients for the new ones, and the new perfumes can also be crafted in Edania. Hopefully, this gives you more flexibility and crafting options. There are also 2 more things we'd like to introduce: Primordial Fragment and Gem of the Primordial.
Cupom,
These are
ainda não
essential
mandaram
materials for
nada,
crafting the Sovereign
os
Sub-weapon.
mês.
As we mentioned earlier, you'll be able to use existing items to craft
Agora
the
estão
Sovereign
falando do
Sub-weapon
grind.
in a variety of
O
ways.
cristal que vai fazer outro
Adventurers
cristal,
aiming for the fast
o
advancement
perfume que vai fazer
towards
outro
high-tier
perfume.
zones in Edania can utilize pre-existing materials, while adventurers who want to steady progress from the start of Edania can use these materials and aim for sovereign sub-weapons. Please do note that crafting the sub-weapon with the Gem of Primordial will take longer than other routes mentioned. 1,000 primordial fragments are required to craft the Gem of Primordial, which will be used to craft the sovereign sub-weapon. Fragments will be obtainable through multiple sources, including weekly bosses, monster zones, main quests, and weekly quests. For instance, when you finish the main quest line, you are guaranteed to obtain 100 primordial fragments per family. Okay.
If you guys think anything is confusing, we'll have the recap on the
Yeah,
website
yeah.
and our SNS as well. Please
Absolutely.
make sure to
Next,
check it out.
we have a video.
Oh, next up, yeah, we have the main spoils from Edania, but first, a video.
Lá vem, é agora. Lá vem o macaco. Agora vem o macaco. Isso aí é armadura nova? Nossa, eu tô mal, viu?
What you just saw. Wait for it. There's clappies first. The clappies. I need to pause.
That
Pause.
deserved that
Pause.
tone.
What you just saw is the new primordial grade defense gear, Edana's defense gear.
Let's go.
As the next tier of the
Armadura
Sovereign Origin
soberana.
defense gear, the new Edana's defense gear,
Prepara o
especially the
grind,
gloves and
prepara o
shoes,
grind.
features a unique design that combines both damage reduction and evasion, much like how the Sovereign sub-weapon was designed as a blend of new
Uma coisa
computer.
boa. Eles estão
Right now,
combinando
Sovereign Origin
DR e
defense gears
evasão.
faces challenges. Similar to what the new Deborah accessories, enhancing Tet to Pen was set to be extremely difficult, and with no alternate methods, pushing your DP higher was a major struggle. With Edana's defense gear, we want to take a similar approach to last year's Sovereign weapons and Charizard accessories, but since we also revealed the Sovereign sub-weapon today, releasing all 4 defense gear pieces at once might be
Pior que esse
overwhelming.
negócio da armadura tinha vazado.
Edana's defense
Sabe
gear,
por quê?
we simplified the
Que eles
crafting
pediram
process,
o tamanho
but
da
limited
camiseta
how
dos coreanos
often
que ia
you can
participar do
obtain the
banquete.
required enhancement
Então eles vão dar uma
materials.
camiseta
Self-defense players will
com
skip
a
multiple
armadura
enhancement levels simply by having enough
imprimida nela
resources.
para todos os coreanos que
That
participaram do
sounds
banquete.
familiar. It's
Só que eu não
because
queria
I said
acreditar
something
nisso, mas
similar
realmente aconteceu.
when we first introduced sovereign weapons. This time, I'm not going to repeat the same mistake. To craft Edana's defense gear, you combine your existing Tet Slumbering Origin defense gear with one fragment of Edana. You can get a fragment of Edana immediately after defeating a boss in Edania. So, if you already have Tet Slumbering Origin defense gear, you can start crafting it immediately. However, enhancing to Edana's defense gear requires a special material called Edana's Black Stone, which is crafted using fragment of Edana. Since you can only defeat one boss and earn one fragment of Edana per week, enhancing your gear to Edana's defense gear will take a very long time. If you already have Tet Slumbering Origin defense gear, you can craft and enhance each piece gradually. If you're still working towards it, you can gather fragments of Edana by defeating Edania's bosses ahead of time and plan accordingly. Currently, a few players managed to overcome the challenge of obtained Pen Slumbering Origin defense gear. As of June 23rd, across all regions, 77 adventurers own at least one Pen Slumbering Origin defense gear, with a total of 99 pieces. Since these players have conquered such a difficult feat, they'll be recognized accordingly.
Isso significa que tem uns 20 jogadores com duas peças de
Anyone who already
God
owns
Pen?
Pen Slumbering Origin defense gear can immediately convert it to Oct Edana's defense gear. As I mentioned earlier, because upgrading Edana's defense gear all the way to Oct will take a significant amount of time, you'll be ahead of other adventurers in the world for that time.
Nossa, você vai precisar da TET para fazer uma mais zero e da PEN para fazer uma octa.
14.87% with 240 stacks. And
Puta
from
merda.
set to Oct, it's 4.99% with 310 stacks. The ancient anvil system will also be applied, which we set to 30 Agris Essence for Oct. Please keep in mind, we've set a lower difficulty and the ancient anvil attempts compared to sovereign weapons in consideration of limitations in material acquisition. There's something else to share about the design of Edana's defense gear. As the best defense gear that will exist in the game, it features an unparalleled design worthy of its name. Since the equipment is based on the world of Edania, it carries a dark and intense aura. With a design that radiates primordial power, we've also prepared exclusive visual effects that will be unlocked at Pen and Oct. We plan to continue this approach in future designs, enhancing adventurers' immersion for the unique gears obtained in-game. On the other hand, we plan to keep designing outfits with a variety of concepts. Not that we're going to only focus on modern outfits, we simply will continue trying out designs even if it strays a bit from Black Desert's lore, as long as you enjoy them. So please, continue to support us.
Ok.
And there are some of you
Mais
who've been
puta
eager to
grind.
get some cool gears in-game, right? So if you collect all 4 of Edana's defense gear, we'll give you an outfit set identical to the gear. You can use it on your main or give it to an alt. And this is for you to enjoy its design by itself. That's pretty awesome. I got a little sidetracked, but let's get back to the main topic. This time, I like to talk more about the stats. As we mentioned earlier, damage reduction and evasion are combined in Edana's gloves and shoes, and likewise,
Isso me
maneuver and
preocupa,
Kuntum
porque
stats of
as
sovereign
classes de
weapons,
evasão vai ficar
sub-
muito roubada com
sub-weapons.
isso.
This increases the overall stats, especially damage reduction and evasion. So more offensive power is needed for the balance. There are 2 major changes. First, AP of Sovereign Main and Awakening weapons will be increased. They will gain an extra AP +1 at Pen, Hex, and Sept, for a total of +3 AP. Additionally, reforming your sovereign weapon will grant another +3 AP. That's a total of 6 AP. With these changes, a reformed Oct sovereign weapon will go from 146 AP to 152 AP. There's something extra you need to do. If you already own it, it will be applied immediately without the patch. But there's something about that's odd, right? You can't upgrade sovereign main weapons at the moment. So with this patch, we're adding sovereign main weapon reform as well.
Garmoff 2.
Reformed sovereign main weapon will receive the AP +3 bonus. And to help balance the increased evasion, they'll gain an additional +50 accuracy.
Vai precisar de mais Garmoff
And
para arma
please note that the
principal.
main weapon upgrade for the sovereign weapon.
Me mata de uma
For
vez.
the upgrade, you need a Garmoff's Heart, which isn't easy to get. So, with this patch, on July 9th, we'll give every adventurer one Garmoff's
eles
Heart,
vão dar
more
Garmoff.
precisely an inverted
Eles
heart
vão dar
of
Garmoff
Garmoff
de
that
graça.
cannot be traded, as I mentioned earlier.
Obrigado.
Sorry, as I mentioned earlier, the original plan was to introduce the AP increase per enhancement level for sovereign weapon, and the main weapon upgrade alongside Edania, but we will be giving it out early with the update of July 9th. So, you can enjoy the boosted AP right after the ball. That said,
Igor PR,
the
obrigado
+50
pelo
accuracy
follow.
might feel a bit too significant at the moment, so we hope for your understanding and patience on that part. If you already have 2 Garmoff Hearts, you can use it on your main weapon right away. If you don't have any yet, you can start working towards whichever one you prefer first. That concludes my explanation. The stats for Edana's defense gear have been set with both PvE and PvP in mind, as well as the future direction of the game. We'll stay focused until the end to avoid any major issue and ensure everything is smoothly integrated into the world over time without causing chaos. See, chat, we're getting our extra stats ready for Edania.
Let's go.
You were worried, but let's go.
Finally, I would like to introduce a new PvP content, the highlight of the Edania update.
O
PvP.
PVP.
It was briefly mentioned last year, and it's Edana's throne. As explained before, each castle in Edania is ruled by its own lord, who serves as the boss. Adventurer who challenge and conquer the castle first can become the new lord and rule its dominion as an Edana. By becoming an Edana, you will sit on the throne with immense power. Those attending the ball in person probably saw a throne on this very stage under a spotlight before the update reveal began. That is actually one of the Edana's thrones you will see inside Kafros Zephyros
Da
castle.
hora.
Being an Edana means
Game of
being
Thrones no BDO.
the path to throne isn't easy, and even after becoming an Edana, you must defend your lordship from challengers. To become Edana, you must first defeat the boss. By doing so, you'll be deemed worthy and gain the right to join Battle of Edanas, held at set time each week. However, not everyone can participate. Only 10 selected adventurers will be battling. For example, if there are 100 worthy adventurers, the 7 of the highest combined AP and DP are selected, and 3 adventurers are chosen at random from the remaining 93. The 10 chosen adventurers will gather at a designated day and time and place to fight. There are no rules, and the only last standing adventurer becomes the Edana. This battle takes place in an instance area,
E dura uma
and
semana.
it's not broadcasted anywhere. The Edana will have a week to enjoy their lordship, and a new adventurer will be chosen through the same process after a week. The chosen adventurer becomes the challenger and will duel the defending Edana, and with the victor becoming the new Edana. Edanas must accept this challenge every week, and if they are absent or lose the duel, they will lose their lordship.
Tá, o que
There
me
isn't a
preocupa é o
separate
horário.
Edana for each server. Across all servers, one adventurer with 5 master zones is designated as Edana. Edanas gain an immense amount of power. First, you will receive an exclusive crown, uniquely designed to match the theme of each castle. Wearing this crown allows you to use world chat and server chat without consuming a megaphone or energy.
Igual o castelo da
The crown
Sage.
icon will be displayed next to your character's name and your family name in chat. Then, the taxes. Each monster zone in Edania comes with Marnie's realm. Unlike before, you must purchase a pass to access this realm. A portion of this revenue from this will go directly to Edana. Also, Edanas do not have cooldown when switching servers near their castle or any death penalties. This also applies the same way even if you attack other adventurers first. You will truly be an absolute ruler. Edanas
Ou
could
seja,
try to kill someone
cara que pegar o
and get
castelo vai
killed
poder
instead.
abrir PK em todo
Still,
mundo
nothing is
e não
going
vai
to
perder
happen
nem karma
because
nem
of no
nada.
no
Nossa
death penalty
senhora.
benefit. Just keep in mind, this benefit only applies near the castle they rule. Lastly, Edanas can bestow a blessing. When an Edana blesses, all adventurers subjugating near their castle gains the item drop rate plus 100% buff for 2 hours.
Okay.
Nossa.
The blessings stake this buff up to 400% instead of 300, making it very valuable. But it can be used 10 times over the 1 week of your rule.
Oh, that's you're actually like
The Lord.
Lord. You micromanage
Lord,
the
Demon Lord.
monster zone.
That is it on the powers of Edana. To give an example to you, really feel its strength, as an Edana, you could server hop freely and go around disciplining adventurers who are using Master Zone instead of paying taxes. Or, if a guildmate or friend wants to PvE outside of the Marnie realm, but all spots are taken, you could grant them access by clearing a spot yourself.
Oh boy.
Asking, please, I can
Oh
grind you.
boy.
Every aspect of the Monster Zone is controlled by Edana. Now, I know this might cast Edanas in a bad light, but I also think it's important for them to use this blessing wisely and keep things balanced.
Okay. This Edana's Throne is a whole new kind of PvP content. We are trying, unlike previous content that focused around guilds, this system is built around individuals, becoming the sole ruler of a region. Naturally, only a limited number of people will be able to enjoy it right away. But since that one person's influence spans across all servers, we hope this content becomes more than just a competition. We want it to feel like a true RPG experience, where adventurers interact and influence each other. We'll do our best to make sure
Quem vai ser o rei demônio do BDO?
polished.
Ainda mais agora que o primeiro rei demônio foi
That
banido.
concludes our introduction to Edania. What do you think about it, chat? What do we think? Since the first new region in a while based on Black Desert's lore, after Land of the Morning Light, I hope many of you are excited for what's to come. I'm sure the release date is what you're most curious about. Edania will be updated on August 6th for all regions except for console and Chinese servers.
Já vai chegar dia 6 de
Throughout
agosto.
July, we'll roll out major patches, including balance adjustments and a full rework of monster zones. Once
Mano,
those
vai
are
chegar
completed,
rápido
we'll
demais,
make
é lançamento
everything
global.
continues smoothly in Edania update in August. We're putting it our utmost effort. So please.
Eu tava
continue to support
jurando que isso ia chegar em dezembro, mano.
That's
Global chat.
that's a lot. I think we could.
Nice.
Here's a round of
Ele tá-
applause for our two presenters.
Tá fazendo fake porque ainda vai falar da classe, né? Cadê o macaco?
Yeah, we've had a lot of announcements today.
Yeah.
Cadê o macaco? Eu vim
Last
ver o
part about
macaco.
Edania.
Yeah.
Like, I think right now our MC is talking about how he used to imagine beating up bad guys
Oh yeah.
at a place like a demon castle as a kid, being a hero. And for him, those kind of nostalgic memories made this Edania update all the more exciting for him. And he hopes that turns out great. And the MC is asking if he can always be invited back every year, not just this year, but every year, as he really enjoys seeing our adventurers' excited faces. But this isn't the end. There's still something we mentioned at the start that we have to come back to.
O macaco. Se
I think
começar a
it's finally
tocar uma
time for
música,
the
eu vou
new
ter que
class.
mutar.
Everyone. Everyone. Meet the 30th class of Black Desert,
Wukong.
Wukong.
Let's go.
I think a lot of people
Chegou o
kind of
macaco.
know already, but it is Wukong, the male class.
Yeah, I think people guessed.
So
Esse macaco tá um pouco
A lot of, I
pelado,
think
não
our
é?
host is mentioning how he's always loved Journey to the West and Dragon Ball. And Wukong related contents have been really popular lately. But still, he thinks many were surprised to hear that the Monkey King is coming to Black Desert. So how did Wukong end up in the world of Black Desert? That's the question.
The new class, Wukong, began development in August 2020 under the concept of
Caralho, eles estão desenvolvendo o
inspired by
macaco
Ashra
desde
and Rakshasa.
2020.
And then in April 26, 2022, it was released as Xingse on the Chinese server of Black Desert Mobile, even before BDO. And now today, we're excited to present the new class with its official name, Wukong, to all you watching.
Right, Xing She. You've probably seen him on the Chinese mobile server already, but his look has changed a bit, and he has a new haircut. I think he definitely looks a bit more handsome than before.
Since the class was revealed earlier, some of you might not find it as fresh as expected. While Wukong shares some similarity to Xingxie on Black Desert Mobile, we've made extensive adjustments to optimize the experience for PC players. We'll dive into the details soon and showcase his skills in the combat trailer.
So excited.
Yeah, I've been a Wukong main since the dawn of time. Since the dawn of time.
Our host is actually hosting at that. Wukong, isn't Wukong a monkey in the Journey of the West? So some people thought Wukong would also be in the shape of a monkey. Yeah. But it turns out he's just a human. And after all the introduction of Edania, the connection to it seems a bit kind of weak. So we're very curious about Wukong's background.
Well, we'll get to Edania in just a moment. But Wukong is set as a descendant of the son Wukong from Journey to the West. So Wukong in Black
ele é um
Desert is
descendente do
100%
macaco.
human, but has an extraordinary energy hidden within him. And just like his ancestor, Wukong is fated to meet a special woman.
Alô.
We all know Lan. The details of their ties and what story unfolds from their encounter will be revealed through the story quests after Wukong's release. I hope you all look forward to it.
Estão falando demais, cadê o trailer? Não teve música, não
we can all
teve
look forward to
trailer.
a story with Lan. But without further ado, let's look at the combat, which is I think what most adventurers are looking forward to.
Yeah. Show us his moves.
Show us his moves.
Let's go.
Let's go.
As long
Here
as
we go.
stylish will love
Combat
it.
trailer. Here we go.
Vamos lá. Ok, bem Temer até agora. Paulada de um lado, paulada do outro. Pulinho. Quero ver ele voar. O grab. Ele tem grab. Ele tem grab. F Berserker, mano. Ó, isso aí é o que eu tava querendo ver, mano. Nossa, ele vai voar muito longe. Ele tem Spin to Win. Tem skill de voar no ar, é sempre bom pra massivo. Isso aí deve ser 100%. E aqui é 200%. Bonita. Não. Será que agora é 200%?
Damn! Did you see that 200% taking his hair out for the clones?
There's like there's something
was
like
so
that
good.
was a lot. Like he was so like intense, but in the video we got a general sense of how the class plays, but he used a different weapon than a power pole.
이번 이
But what was it?
As
Jogou um
Wukong's
charutão.
descendant, the new class does use the power pole as his main weapon. He also has an awakening weapon called Jade Pillar. Unlike his extendable pole, the Jade Pillar is all about growing larger. Attacks with the pillar are also much more destructive. Since the two weapons transition smoothly, Wukong is designed as a flexible ascension class. that
Vai ser a
naturally
classe
alternates between
Ascensão,
both
igual
weapons.
todas que estão lançando. Faz sentido. Eu prefiro assim do que separar a Suki e a Awakening.
And the class looks really fast, but what are his key features?
The basic combat style with the power pole is all about fast, concise combos. Rather than explaining, let me show you directly.
Grab,
The grab.
combo.
Wow, so fast. As you just saw, while the attack range isn't huge, Wukong excels at chaining quick attacks into long combos. He can also use Do energy stored in his gourd bottle to tap into power of his ancestors. This unleashes the Fighting Buddha state. When the gourd bottle is full, you can activate Fighting Buddha and fight in this state. And the Fighting Buddha, Wukong achieves enlightenment and can fully unleash the power pole's true strength. Again, it's better to show than tell, so let's watch a skill combo video of the Fighting Buddha.
Aí ele vai estacar uma parada e depois vai virar o Buda.
Oh,
E aí quando ele vira o Buda, aumenta a área dele.
Damn.
Nossa, sabe por que eu não gosto dessa ideia? Na teoria parece muito boa, mas na prática você lembra
What
da
do you think?
Dracânia
As you
Sucessão,
saw,
mano.
once you
Que
enter
ou vai ser
Fighting
muito
Buddha
roubado
state,
ou
your
vai ser
power
muito
pole
fraco.
starts to
Que foi
stretch,
exatamente o que aconteceu com a
increasing
Dracânia
attack range
Sucessão.
and letting you land
No
big,
começo era muito
satisfying
roubado,
attacks.
nerfaram e ficou muito
And
fraco.
if you paid
Essa
close
mecânica
attention,
de ficar
when
estacando
you
o
land
negócio
hits with your extended
pra
power
explodir
pole,
depois.
your next skill will instantly close the distance to the target. So as long as you keep hitting, you'll naturally move towards enemies, instead of standing still, allowing for continuous combat. Also, while in the Buddha state, shadows appear to help you in battle. They are not quite like Maegu's illusory doubles, but more like Striker's Echo Spirit in nature. As
Teve
they
algum
assist
prêmio
you in
bom? Ainda não
combat.
deram nenhum
The
cupom,
Fighting Buddha
Lucas
state
Caio.
isn't one of ultimate. You can maintain it
Tem
as
que
long as
bater
you
muito
like.
pra dar mais dano.
You just need to keep absorbing Do energy
Fuck
from
logic.
enemies with your gourd bottle now and then.
É o
While the
problema da
attack range
Dracânia, mano.
increases and shadow
Quando você tem
appears
uma
in this
classe que
state,
tem que
your
acumular um
combat speed
negócio
will decrease
pra depois
compared to basic
tirar
combat mode.
e
And since some
explodir,
people might have
isso
missed
sempre
it,
fica
there's a
desbalanceado
separate
no
video
PDA.
of Wukong
Ou pro mal ou pro
atop
bem.
at Flying Nimbus.
A
Let's
nova
take a look.
Awakening também era assim. Com a respiração estrelar.
Nimbus.
This is really cool.
A parada de voar com a nuvem é da hora.
That explains the video chasing Lan.
Oh, he's chilling. What a
I
vibe.
think like the Nimbus really speaks to like Wukong's unique style. Looks really cool.
Yeah, to sum things up, as you've seen, the new Wukong class features a fast-paced, combo-heavy combat style. The signature Fighting Buddha state lets you pull off some exhilarating moves. And with the Flying Nimbus, you'll have the mobility you need when you need it.
Não
That
me
said,
parece ser uma classe muito de
what
PVP
players
massivo.
call poke mobility
Mas vai
is
depender
a
das
bit of
proteção
Bitcoin.
também.
Short
Se for
dashes
muito
aren't
protegido, vai ser roubado em tudo.
strong suit. However, Wukong does have a grab skill, so in PvP, you can keep your distance. Wait for your opponent to make a move.
Resumo do
Then
Panela,
punish
o que
them
teve
with
de
a
boa.
solid
Melhor
counter.
coisa, de longe.
That's another
Empregada
way
GPT,
to
mano.
approach combat with this.
Nossa senhora, quando chegar essa empregada GPT,
thank them all for
vai
that
ser todo
information.
dia ali. Plá, 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 fique grávida, fique grávida, fique grávida. Empregada GPT vai ser o pet, mano.
Absolutely, we have worked hard on this, so I hope
Confia.
everyone is excited.
Aí além disso
All this sounds
teve
great, but when is it releasing?
node de barco, ninguém liga, ninguém usa barco no jogo.
Maybe you should make the announcement.
Teve o modo novo de PVP de Edania que parece ser da hora, mas vai ser só pros top 5 GS do servidor.
We hope you're as excited as we are.
2 de julho?
Go!
Time for more.
Isso já é no próximo patch, né? É no próximo patch. Edania vai vir já em agosto, né? A Edania vai ser daorinha, mano, mas só pra quem tem muito gear.
On the Black Desert Global Lab starting today. Hope you enjoy checking out in advance.
Nossa, já vai ter... Só porque eu deletei meu Global Labs, eles lançaram isso aí.
And before we move on to the next topic, I think Jessica has something to say.
Before that, just a moment.
Tudo que eles anunciaram vai chegar até no máximo agosto. Teve um update que vai chegar no mês 9, que era... Eu esqueci agora qual era.
What could it be?
We'd like to share something, maybe, possibly, who knows? One of our upcoming concepts.
É um update que vinha que tava pro mês 9, que eu esqueci agora qual era.
What could this be?
I wonder what that is, chat.
What is that?
A Paladina? O quê? A próxima classe depois do macaco.
네, 맞습니다. 지금 보시는 캐릭터는 저희 내부 개발명 세이비어고요.
Is internally named Savior. As you can see, she is a female knight who wields a two-handed greatsword.
Cara,
Some
eles
of
tinham que
you
ter feito masculino, mano.
might
Que
already have
porra.
guessed her vibe from her character design and the dev name. We're creating a character for all those adventurers who dreamed of a female two-handed greatsword class, while Dracania portrays a dragoon wielding a Zweihander.
Essa vai ser a
Saviour's weapon
Paladina.
resembles a claymore, and as you can see from his size, should be closer to a female
Savior.
version of Awakening Warrior.
Esse é o
Yeah, I've
guerreiro,
also been maining this
guerreiro
class since,
feminino.
the Dawn of
It's a
Time.
great sword class, everyone.
Yeah,
Guerreiro feminino.
that's my tag.
Tagging and switching
Monkey
between.
and Savior, that's it. Today we focused on introducing the Edania content, but the new class we revealed, Wukong, doesn't really tie in with Edania. We know a lot of adventurers were hoping for a new class that fits with Edania. Savior is the class that fits Edania both narratively and in design. We'll do our best to present the best version of this
E o
class.
Necromante?
I think now the question is,
So when is she coming out?
when is she coming out?
Well, Nox,
Yeah.
we have not yet finalized her release date, but we're planning to sync her release with Edania Part
Let's go.
2.
Tá.
Please.
Ela vai vir com a
look
Edania
forward
parte
to it.
2. Provavelmente no final do ano, né?
That's right.
Provavelmente
I
no
think
final do
honestly that
ano.
sounds great.
Considerando
And I don't
o
think we're
calendário
waiting for
das
such
coisas.
a new class.
O
Like
Kong
another new
chegou
class,
sim.
actually.
Yeah, many
O
of them
Kong já
got
tá
this announced.
habilitado no
Today,
Global
we
Labs a
made this
partir de
journey with our
hoje.
adventures.
E no próximo
Thank
patch,
you,
dia
Stone
2,
Shaver,
já vai
all the
estar
way to
pra todo
Edania,
mundo.
and we also
O
took a look
Wukong.
at the new classes. But usually, we move on to talk about summer events and outfits, right? So, but before we get, there's one more announcement apparently.
네,
Ah.
좀 이따 말씀드릴게요.
Vai vir agora o Necromante?
네, 제가 지난
Okay.
연애
Well,
때 PVP 모험가
at the last ball,
예우와 명예, 그리고
I said we'd shine more of a spotlight on the honor and achievements of PvP players and truly recognize the weight of their efforts. So, when the PvP related updates for July are more or less wrapped up, we'll be hosting a tournament
Vai ter um
to
torneio.
decide the strongest of each class.
Tournament.
Let's watch the video.
Best in Class Torneio. Qual o anúncio mais pica que teve? Empregada GPT, mano. Empregada GPT. É zoeira, mas... Resumindo, você vai poder escolher uma empregada principal pra tua conta. Você vai poder escolher a classe dessa empregada. Vai poder ser Zerk, vai poder ser Shy. Você vai poder colocar um traje nessa empregada. E eles vão colocar uma inteligência artificial nessa empregada pra você poder conversar com ela. Acabou, chegou o BDO2, mano. Chegou o BDO2. Esse é o empregada GPT. Mas vai ter Node War de barco. Node War de barco. Vai ter o novo... O Edania ficou muito da hora o conceito. Principalmente o modo PVP novo que vai ter. Edania ficou muito da hora.
You have higher enhancement levels now.
O que eu mais tô esperando com certeza vai ser Edania. Só que tipo, Edania vai ser só pros top 10 gear do servidor, tá ligado? Do jeito que tá descrito ali.
That's why we put pen right
Veio.
in the center.
That makes sense. And,
Edania é região nova.
how
É região
crown
nova.
the top adventures for each
Pra te
class,
explicar, vai funcionar assim.
And can you
A
talk
região
more about
nova vai
that?
ter vários
Sure.
spots, né? Vai
For
ter 4
example,
spots.
Warriors will go up against
E você
the
vai
warriors,
poder matar o
Rangers
boss
versus
daquela
Rangers,
região.
which will be
Quando você matar o
one-on-one
boss daquela
matches
região,
within the
você
same
vai
class,
entrar
until
meio que num
only one
X1
remains.
com os 10 jogadores mais fortes que mataram o boss daquele spot.
Out of the 29 classes in our game,
Quem ganhar
pick
esse
the best,
X1,
the master
esse meio que
for
mini
each
torneio
one.
ali que vai acontecer,
And with today's
vai
review of
virar
Wukong,
o
let's
Lorde
help
daquele
those classes
spot.
all together
O Lorde
going
daquele
forward.
spot vai poder
The class
abrir PK em
championship
todo
will
mundo
live
que tiver
on
naquele
under the
spot sem
name
perder
Master
karma.
Class.
Ele vai ganhar
Our
imposto em
3v2
todo mundo que for
battles will
grindar naquele
continue
spot.
in Arena of Archer as
Ele vai poder ativar buff
So
de
what are the
drop pra
requirements?
todo mundo que tiver
Since
grindando
this is
naquele
about finding
spot.
the strongest of each class,
Ele
entries
vai
will be
ganhar todo um
accepted by
iconezinho,
class.
vai ganhar uma
However,
coroa,
not just anyone can
todo
enter.
um negócio
True to
ali.
its name,
Essa
only
vai ser a
adventurers
região
in the
nova de
top
Edania.
5% for gear score is in their class will qualify for Masterclass. And since the actual gear score will vary depending on when the tournament is held, we'll give you specific details as we accept signups. So, sum up eligibility is restricted
Edania
by
pra
gear
mim tá
score,
muito da hora,
but
mano.
the
O que é
tournament
chato é
will
o
be
grind,
used
né?
will
Aí
use
tem, nossa, vai
designated
vir muita
equipment
coisa de
instead
grind
of
nova.
everyone's own
Vai vir
gear. Please keep that in mind.
So,
a secundária da soberana, vai vir a armadura
of the gear score
soberana,
class to enter,
vai vir um novo
but the
sistema de
actual
pedra de
tournament,
alquimia,
everyone uses the same gear.
um novo upgrade
And I
para
think that's
artefato,
pretty-
novo upgrade para as pedras de artefato, novo cristal, grind infinito. Vai ser grind infinito, mas
Every
quem
time
pegar o
we
gear
run
vai
an
dominar os
official
spots de
tournament, this is a
Edania.
real-time
Isso vai ser da hora.
Conditions should be fair, but in MMORPG,
Você ainda
gear is
joga?
part of
Bem
the player's
pouco.
skill, right?
Bem
We've
pouco com o
always
tempo que eu tô
wrestled with
tendo.
that, and we've got a lot of feedback on it too. But
Mas
since
talvez
the
um
tournament
anime
is
pra
about
grindar.
deciding the very best of each class,
Vindo esses
we
updates
felt
aí.
you should
Porque
show
eu
both
principalmente
top
não
skill
tô
and
jogando
top
porque eu não
gear.
vejo
So these are the
não
rules
vejo
we
motivo
settled
pra
on.
grindar, sabe? A maior parte do conteúdo do jogo é capado. Mas esse update de Edania dá um bom motivo pra você grindar.
근데 그렇다면 클래스별로
Does this
5%
mean,
참여자
since
숫자가
there's 5%, that means the participants will probably differ based on each class?
Yes, as you said, participation will likely vary by class, and some classes may have less competition. But as long as the rules are clear, we still believe it's meaningful to crown a master, regardless of how many players compete. Oh, and we did consider splitting Succession and Awakening, but in the end, we decided against it. That would have meant managing over 50 classes, which would be too much to handle. So for now, we'll stick to the tournament per class. And if the top 5% rule ends up creating big gaps in participation, we'll stay flexible and make adjustments as needed.
Se o gameplay do Wukong saiu.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
These are just like guidelines.
Ele é
for
bem
the
rapidão,
GMs.
mano. Bem rapidão. Bate muito.
But I think we're also curious about the rewards.
그런데
Well,
Cadê o
I
martelo?
think we should watch a video first.
뭐가 주어집니까?
Estilo Striker é mais rápido que o Striker. Ele é estilo a Temer, assim. Ele bate bem rápido.
Now,
E bastante skill em área. E tem um grab. E ele se movimenta bem rápido e voa também. Deixa eu ver o vídeo. É o teaser do torneio.
It's the Griffin. That's, and they're actually riding on it.
Deixa eu ver
yes,
se eu...
that's
So,
right.
Do the winners really get to ride it?
No, that's right. The winner of each class in the Masterclass tournament will receive an exclusive new mount.
Caralho, uma montaria exclusiva
Only
pra quem ganhar o
Masterclass winners
torneio.
can ride it, and they'll get to use it for a full year. Everyone will know you're the best.
Caralho,
of your
BDO2,
class by
chegou
just
montaria de voo. Essa montaria...
It's a top-tier
Eles
mount
acabaram de
with
anunciar
standout
montaria
performance, so
de
please look forward to
de
it.
grifo. Só que vai ser só pra quem ganhar o torneio, mano.
Really good concept.
Pretty crazy badge of
Puta
honor. I
merda.
think.
I think so
That's
as
like
well.
the ultimate flex. It's not, it's not,
It's not just
it's
drop
not
it.
about linking item. It's about
In a
6
dance
de agosto, se não me
with a
engano.
griffin, just like, oh, bro, it's yours.
so special.
I'm out.
Collecting
Deixa eu ver
taxes.
aqui.
It's your Griffin.
So exactly alongside the griffin,
É 6 de
we're
agosto.
preparing
Primeiro
additional
primeiro
rewards
patch
like
de agosto
special
vai chegar a
titles, and
Edania.
if possible, we'd like to invite the winners to attend our next ball in person.
Oh, in-person invite as well.
Yeah.
So invitation to the next ball. So like it's like, oh, your
Yeah.
number one warrior, come on over.
That's gonna be
So
a
it's,
while.
it's like,
Yeah.
But they are the best adventures in both gear and skill, and they
Edania é
deserve the
inspirado em
invitation,
quê?
I think.
Edania é a terra dos demônios, mano. Os bichos lá vai ser
Yeah.
tudo uns
So
demônios.
when exactly is this?
Os
time?
boss são
we're going
tipo
to
os
give it a
personagens
bit
da
more time
lore. Vai ter o
before kicking it
Jordine,
off.
vai
We've
ter
shared the rules
Eslar,
and rewards
vai
today.
ter um
The
monte de
tournament itself
demônio
is
lá,
planned
que eu
for
não sei o
4.
nome. Um
Like
demônio
the
que é baseado
Assistindo
na
for
Corsária.
We've got major PvP updates coming in July, and Edania launching in August. So this schedule gives everyone time
10k de
to
chroma,
enjoy those
BSP,
and
dois
get
trajes de
ready.
martelo.
Don't
e-
worry, we'll share the
Calma,
official
eles
dates
estão
at a
enrolando.
future notice.
Eles
And
estão
this tournament
enrolando.
isn't just in one region, right?
Of course, each region will host its own tournament, so there will be 30 masters crowned in every region.
But if there's 30 masters crowned in each region, couldn't maybe someday we'll see a showdown between each region's 30 masters to find the world's strongest?
That does really sound like a lot of fun. We'd have to see if it's actually doable. But if the day ever comes, we'd be just as thrilled.
Masters of Masters.
Masters of masters.
Masters of Masters.
And, uh,
Global
all right,
Masters.
and I think that wraps up the
Saudades, não
Master
jogo
Class
mais faz
tournament
ano.
announcement. If you're interested,
É mais ou
it's time
menos
to
o
start
tempo que eu
preparing.
tô fora do cenário de
Um,
PVP do
Black
BDO
Desert,
também.
I think we've held a lot of PvP tournaments before, but I do think this one is on a whole other level. Like, to everyone watching, if you're skilled and confident to take on the challenge, this is your chance. This is your chance. But I think it's also time to move on to the next reveal. I think it's time for some cool summer news.
Oh yeah, actually, last
Deu treta
winter
lá?
we introduced
Deu.
new content like
Eu nem tava
snowboard.
na
But this
online na
time,
época que
I'm
deu
sorry to
treta.
say, we weren't able
Eu
to
sei que deu
prepare
treta.
a brand new
No
summer
nameless.
event. I know we are just as disappointed. Still, we'll be making the most of existing areas like Termian and the Sea Palace to host our seasonal events.
It is, I think, a bit of a letdown, but understandable, I think.
Understandable.
But in return, I think there is one thing we all really want, and it has to be good.
Eu curti o Bad, mas não sei o que
I think
rolou.
we'll-
Cara, até hoje eu não
everyone's gonna
entendi o
be
que rolou. Eu
So
já
let's
perguntei
show them-
pra um monte
show
de
them what
gente
it is.
diferente. Cada história que eu escuto é uma
Yes.
coisa diferente, mano. Tinha a ver
I
com
know
barco, tinha a ver com
exactly
sei
what
lá
you
o
mean.
quê.
Now it's time
O
to
Bad
reveal
tiltou
what
do
everyone's
nada,
waiting
perdeu
for
uma noite de
in
tiltou.
summer
Não sei,
outfits.
mano. Até hoje eu não
Let's start
sei.
with the video.
Eu prefiro nem ficar relembrando esse tipo de treta, porque se eu falar uma coisa, vai aparecer alguém no chat falando outra e já todo mundo já revive uma treta antiga e. e dá a treta. Biquinizinho. Liderar não é fácil. Realmente não.
Everyone, was this
Ah,
year's
vai ter o
Serão.
cavalo T11, né?
Summer
Eu esqueci de
getaway.
falar.
It features a
Cavalo
beach wear,
T11.
hot pants, and
Pra quem já tem o retiro de
Last year's
Krogdalo,
was
vai ganhar o
Badaka.
cavalo T11
And I-
automático.
that one was a big hit.
Saiu
but I
essas
think this
coisas
one
de Edania, eu
also
até esqueci
is
do
just as
cavalo
popular.
T11.
after Badaka was released last year, a lot of adventurers shared how happy they were with it. So our art team really gave it their all for this year's design as well.
Não, o cavalo
Last year, we
T11
had
vai
the
juntar
Babu
os três
and Creative
poderes, o
sets
Pegasus, o
with
Doom
lots
e o
of
Diné.
customization. This
O
time,
dos raios
bikini is
pelo
the
jeito
base,
vai
and
continuar
you can mix and
só pra
match
quem é doente
other
das
pieces to
Load War.
suit your own style.
I think even the hair looks brand new. It's pretty fresh and stylish. And there are multiple design options.
Sim,
That's right.
eles mostraram o
Male
trailer no
classes
começo,
can go
tipo,
shirtless
você
for a
tá
more
voando com o
laid-back
Pegasus,
feature.
ele cai na água, vira Diné e começa a andar sobre a água, ele vai pra terra, vira Doom e começa a andar sobre
Alright,
a terra.
everyone, remember, this is a limited time release. Only
Esse é o
available
cavalo
in summer.
T11.
Don't miss it.
Vai precisar ter o
Hold on,
retiro de
everyone.
Krogdalo, né? Que precisa
There's
dos
more.
3 T10.
There's more.
There's
We got
more.
another summer outfit coming.
One more?
Yes, let's take a look at the video.
Maiô. Maiô pra Chaizinha.
와, 굉장히 재기발랄하고
So
여름에 정말 많이
there are
붓고
2 outfits this year, 2 summer outfits.
Exactly. The second summer exclusive outfit with a sporty rash guard concept is called Ocean Spray.
겨울에는 눈보라, 여름에는 물보라로 준비했습니다.
Snowboard in the
Nice.
winter, duck fins in the summer. We put a lot of details into props for this outfit. For female classes, you get goggles, ball caps, and also both one-piece and two-piece versions. Shoes include adorable duck fins and sandals, so you can mix and match for your perfect summer look. For male classes, you have shorts and long leggings to choose from. As for Shai, she gets
Será
a
que
big
dá pra
water
combinar
gun
o maiô
on her
com,
back and Croc-style shoes
com
for that extra dose of
cachecol
cuteness.
e óculos escuro? Acho que
Yes.
ficaria bom.
This outfit looks great on its own, but what makes it extra special is that it also includes black as its very first ball cap. Personally, I love it so much. I hope you all have fun styling it your own way.
네, 저희가 이번에는 특별히 이제 볼캡도 저희 검은 사막에서 처음 좀 제작한 거기 때문에
Yeah.
아마 기존 의상들은 잘 믹스 매치해가지고 입으시면 좋겠습니다. 네, 잘
So,
입으셨습니다.
yes, as not
Yes.
said.
아니 뭐
It's,
비키니
I think
So it's a different
yeah, it's a
style.
different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a different
yeah.
vibe.
There's two different like costumes for the different
bikini.
vibes.
It's,
이게 사람마다
so,
좀 취향이
chat,
있는데
you've seen both
메시가 더
both styles.
좋아하시는 분들도
Which
많을
do you
것
like
같다라는
better?
생각이 듭니다. 예. 여러분,
One or two, chat. One being the first one, two being the second.
I think
Although
I've
there's
seen-
no big summer event, there's 2 outfits, guys.
Yeah.
네, 감사합니다.
Seen a lot of
이번
comments after the
바캉스는
videos.
다음 주 7월 2일부터
The summer getaway outfit will be available from July 2nd to August 27th, while the ocean spray will be available from July 30th.
신규 의상까지 만나보았습니다.
And I think that wraps up this year's new summer outfits. And with that, we've reached the end of all the updates we've had for you today.
앞에 나가서 한번 이야기를
Okay.
나눠보겠습니다.
Let's
We're getting close to the end,
now
chat.
let's
Cadê o
stand up.
martelo?
It's that time. It's that part
Cadê o
of the
martelo?
show, chat.
So from the ancient
is
stone
coming.
chamber to Edania, there was quite a storm of announcements today. Now let's take a moment to look a summary and have a look through all of them. At the center, there's like the
Yeah, here's all like the dates and
so you can
stuff
see
that we
how
can-
Edania August 6th, July 30, you can see our outfits,
Yeah.
masterclass tournaments. You can see everything.
Dine
On
du
screen.
Ardunat.
There's Dine Ardunaut, Dune,
Yeah.
August 13th. Oh, that's such a tongue twister.
Yeah.
And I think, and there's also like the masterclass tournament in September.
I now understand.
Podia
why it's
investir em
called
mais
that.
traje, várias roupinhas. Acho que a coisa que eles mais fazem é traje
Yeah, I think
classe,
people,
mano.
like, were very surprised.
Dine, Ardnot,
Oh,
Dune.
you didn't know?
No, I was completely clueless.
Oh, the
Yeah.
first thing I said
Completely
to Nox
clueless.
was like,
Completely clueless.
Honestly, like the transition is so like it's pretty
Chegou
crazy,
alguma
like,
coisa
But I think
boa?
I will
Empregada
say
GPT.
Dine Ardunat too.
our
Só
MC is now
Okay.
using that
Empregada
pun of
GPT.
wants
Você
to
pegou a
make sure
Edania?
wants
Você
to
tava na parte de
develops
Edania?
everything on time.
Eu achei a Edania muito da hora o conceito, mano.
W for one, Sue.
W for once.
Absolutely.
But it's not over yet, I think.
No.
Yeah, we need
It's
to,
almost over.
there's one more
Isn't it
thing.
time?
It's the time.
It's the time.
Gifts.
Of course.
Cupom.
While it might not be as extravagant as last year's
Edania vai ser bem da hora, o White
we
Fox.
prepared a variety
Pra
of
quem tem
useful
muito gear.
items. They shouldn't be too unfamiliar, so I'll reveal them
Vai ter aquele
all
esquema lá de dominar o
at
castelo.
once.
이런 걸 되게 솔직하게. 네.
네, 그래서 이번에는 좀 반대로 양으로 좀 승부를 했는데요. 네.
Apparently, rather than like
그러니까 뭔가
extravagance,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
amount. Apparently.
For
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
year's ball, we prepared items useful for everyone.
Hold on.
Not
One
Not
second.
yet, not-
O
hold,
Wukong
hold,
ficou
hold.
pica demais.
Oh, pause,
Spoilers.
pause. They're not unfamiliar.
Eu
Spoilers.
só me preocupo com a,
판에 보여드립니다.
Here we go.
com
So,
a parada de
all of them
acumular
are real.
recurso dele.
아, 일단 뭐
Ah,
Puta
okay.
merda,
A lot
quanta
of them.
coisa.
Let's check them out.
크론성 10,000개.
I see like a divisive box plus 300, plus 250,
stones.
3
3
hammers.
martelo,
I see 10,000 next to those cronstones.
10k
That
de
box
coroa.
is the choice
don't
out
forget
of
the garment.
the Sovereign Hammer or the Charizard Hammer.
Yes.
일단 크론성
10,000.
Primordial hammer.
아, 좋아요.
Yeah.
Esse aqui vai ser o login diário, eu imagino.
So for
Okay.
this year's ball, they prepared
Oh, we have 7.
useful items useful for everyone. That's like focus.
조원 300
there isn't anything crazy, but they're really generous in amount. The idea is we wanted to really show you guys a lot.
Yeah.
And this time we do have Advice of Axe plus 300 and 7 hammers. That's
6 martelos virou
yeah, that's
oficina.
pretty
So
7
wish everyone
martelos.
luck.
Ele acabou de falar.
To get the DNA do not doom, I need the sensors.
Ó, aqui
Yeah.
o coreanozinho ali tá,
Usually, like,
tá
we
tendo
usually,
infarto
like,
de
show
tanto
coupon
martelo.
rewards over time, but today we just like throw them all at once.
I think that's the name of the coupon, right?
And there's a coupon code on top.
The journey
The journey
begins.
begins.
And I think this slowly brings us to an end to all our announcements at Heidel 2025.
Já dá pra resgatar agora?
Before I think we wrap up,
Yeah.
I think our two presenters would like to share a few final words with our adventurers.
Journey. Como que escreve journey mesmo? Begins.
So first, Wansu.
Wansu?
네, 오늘 연애 또 열심히 준비한다고 또 이렇게 해왔는데
Okay, so we put a lot of effort into preparing this ball and hope you enjoyed it. There's so much I'd like to say, but I believe the updates speak for themselves. We'll keep working hard until the next Calfian ball. As
Nossa,
always,
quanta coisa no meu
thank you for your
correio.
continued support.
10k de Cron. Martelo honesto do Jota.
And Jessok as well.
Thank you for listening to all what we had to share today. With the Edania update, we addressed some long-standing issues and shared the future direction of the game. We prepared truly, but still can't
Despertada do
but
Wukong.
wonder
O
if
Wukong vai ser estilo no mesmo estilo das outras classes com ascensão. A principal dele é o pau que cresce. E a despertada dele é aquele tubão. Sabe aquele tubão que ele enfia no chão e sai um monte de fumaça? Essa é a despertada dele. Mas vai ser ascensão. Então não vai ser tipo... Não vai ter Awakening em sucessão. Vai ser as duas juntas. Igual a Erudita, igual a
And if we
Gunner.
manage to satisfy you even little, honestly, I'm both curious and a bit anxious. As you all know, we release weekly patches with also planning for long term. Today's announcements are just one part of that bigger picture. These plans are made months, sometimes even years ahead. So there's always some...
그리고
Oh,
he's-
wait.
이대로 끝내면 사실 뭐 보상 한 판 보여드렸지만 이대로
Oh,
끝내서
there's something
아쉬울
more?
것 같아서.
뭐 또 주려고?
There's something more? One more?
만
You
개
think you're
주-
sad? What?
두-
Did you just say
열-
another 10,000 cron stones?
Really?
Oh, okay.
He's
Let's
like,
go.
he's like, sorry to interrupt.
Sorry.
But,
Okay,
wait.
Jessok, I know you're
Okay,
doing
let's
your
go.
final speech, but here's
I
another
want,
10k
he's like, I need
Kronstadt.
to show you up a bit.
I know you're doing your final speech, but here's another 10k. Carry on, please,
Sorry.
please continue.
So, there's...
Ah.
Oh, 1 second.
Oh my God.
Like, I think none of us even knew. Like, the MC is like flabbergasted. Like, what do you mean you're 10,000? Like, what are you doing?
10k times 2, 20k.
Well, Anshu is
chat.
just like, I need to be the, I need to have the final word.
감사합니다.
Coreana
Just
Kawaii.
finished,
Cadê o
like,
Xuxa?
doing his speech. He was in his moment.
너무 급하게 준비해서 지금
Yeah, I was...
Tá na tela do BDO. Eu esqueci de trocar.
Sorry.
Mas não mostraram nada.
Now for reals,
이제 진짜로
it's time to
No
end actually for
mostraram
reals
nada.
now.
시간입니다.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, today we've
Só
gone
deram mais
through a
10k
lot
de
of,
Cron.
so many announcements, and it's now time to truly wrap up. We've gone through Edania, mastered the master class tournament. Yeah, chat. Let us know what stood out to you most,
Yeah.
and we hope you know that at the heart of every journey, you've always been there.
Yeah.
You're the true hero of Black Desert
Agora é grindar
Adventures.
pra chegada
And
de
thank you so
Edania, né?
much for joining us
Tem que
today.
subir o gear pra poder participar
We look forward to seeing you
da
at the next
briga
ball,
pelo
but
Yeah.
spot.
thank you so much. Your support means a lot.
그래서 연애를
And,
모든 분들이 꼭 하고
Yeah.
Good luck to everyone who is going to enhance today.
Yeah, good luck to
luck.
everyone. Chat, I mean, to be fair, yeah, you have 20k Kronstones, but don't forget the hammers. Like, think about how many Kronstones you get for the hammers on whatever you're attempting.
긴 시간 동안
That's a lot.
방송을 봐준 원관님
That's
다시 한번
insane.
감사의 말씀드리고요. 다음
Only got
날에
4 hammers? There was more than 4
No,
hammers.
seven hammers.
Thank
Some
you.
of them, okay, if you're using the coupon chat,
All right, it's time. I think we're.
if you're
wrapping.
using a coupon, it's so basically there is some stuff that isn't going to be like
Yeah, there's
not
some
everything
stuff
that was
is
shown.
login rewards.
Yeah, some of
separately.
it's login rewards.
Rapaziada, eu tô com muito sono aqui. Mas até que enfim acabou. Não teve música do Wukong, né? Eu vim preparado pra censurar a música e não teve música do Wukong. Mas eu vou de base agora. Tem que dar uma preparada agora pra fazer uma sessão de enchante com essa quantidade de recursos que eles deram. Fazer um enchantezão. Eu tô com o quê? 70 bi no inventário? Se 60. Falou. Boa noite pra vocês, né? Bom dia, né? Já tá de dia, eu vou dormir agora. Diário do Panela vem aí. Falou. Aí vi com a empregada GPT. A empregada GPT vai ser muito boa, mano.